And welcome to MD Global Muscle Radio, episode 11, here at the Pump Media Studios, joined by my co-host, AJ, all the way from Norway.
What is that?
Arnold Classic!
Arnold Classic!
Yes.
Great to be back in England.
Yeah, I'm very excited, as you can tell.
So you're hyped, and you had... How was your Arnold Classic weekend? Tell us the full...
Oh my God. How long you got?
We got
hours. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I keep doing that. Yes, it was absolutely fantastic. That was the 6th Arnold Classic I'd been to. And for me, this was the most fun I've ever had at an Arnold Classic.
Why is that?
Why is that? Oh, God. For so many reasons. Obviously, a new champion, Brandon Curry, our boy. You know, it was exciting. He's moved up now. There's a 5th placed Olympia guy. And now from winning this, he has now stepped over 4th place and 3rd place Olympia competitor William Bonac. Roly Winklaar. I know Roly wasn't in his best condition, but, you know, he is now in contention. There's a lot of people talking now that he could be a serious threat for the Olympia title.
So let's brag about what we can brag about. And that's... we said Curry's going to win.
Curry could win, yeah.
He won. No, I said...
the Arnold Classic. Yes, yeah, he did, yeah.
We said Roly Winkler's going to be way out.
Yeah, well, I was correct, yeah.
He was way out.
That was all due to what we saw at that Nepal guest posing. But I heard someone said to me that... someone said that Jay Cutler has said on a podcast that Sean Roden's not going to be able to put the size back on now for the Olympia. I think that's rubbish. And if that is true, I mean... A lot of the guys used to take months off, but I mean, he's got, from March, April, May, June, we've got like 5-6 months yet.
So you're saying Jay Cutler said on a podcast that
this is what I've been told.
He believes that Sean Roden won't put the size back on?
Yeah, because I think a lot of the guys do start training back. Even the ones after the Olympia that take a lot of time off, they always start back about January. And I know Sean kind of started back a few weeks ago, so it's still February. He's still got plenty of time. And he looked I was chatting to him backstage. I had a few chats with Sean actually at the Arnold. And he calls me his proper British friend. He said he wants to be able to speak proper like his British friend Giles.
So the Arnold Classic, lived up to the hype.
Oh, big time. It was a fantastic production. I've got to say, everyone at MD, myself, Ron, and the team, we had absolutely first-class treatment. I mean, I can't say that Matt Laws, the organizer, the whole team, everyone, it's such a well-run show. The organization is pretty much the pinnacle, like the Olympia, the pinnacle of like, you know, and the thing is, you have the Olympia, but it is purely bodybuilding. The Arnold Classic had 22,000 athletes.
Yeah.
In all the different sports. And I think there's something like a couple of 100,000 people descend upon Columbus when they have it. I mean, it brings Columbus to life.
For people at home, if they want to go to md.com, we have great coverage there.
Musculardevelopment.com.
Yeah, it's great coverage there. Only thing, Brandon Curry interview, you were so hyped. You forgot the questions, or?
Oh, the thing is, it was so much excitement. I mean, I actually watched that interview back and I was actually okay with it because at the time I was thinking, this is going terribly. But I was just so excited, and it kind of picked up on the whole atmosphere and the whole excitement, and Brandon was kind of in this state of like, you know, he was so sort of, obviously, I mean, he went in to win and he maybe expected to win, but I think it was kind of, it was kind of a shock, and, you know, and he was probably just trying to take it all in because literally as soon as they come off stage, there's all the different outlets, you know, all the different media outlets, and we're all kind of, you know, swapping, and all the athletes, and I mean, Brandon was just going along the line doing interview after interview, and so he's probably, you know, a lot to take in.
You were there. You can only mention one name, and I ask you this question.
Oh, God.
Star of the day. No, star... how do you say it? Star of the show. One person.
Luke Sandoe. Apart from Brandon.
No, you got it.
I think the biggest...
You got to decide one name. You can't say beside from.
It's got to be Luke Sandoe. Because Brandon was coming in as a kind of hot favourite between him and Bonac and Roly, you know. They were the kind of 3 top names, you know, they're the top 6 Olympia guys. I mean, Luke Sandoe, here's a guy that was... I mean, I interviewed him at the expo. Not the expo, sorry, the Meet the Athletes on the Thursday night. And if you watch at the end, I said, so what's the goal then? And I know what his goal was, but I wanted him to say. And he said, well, top 6, Giles. And I kind of went... Well, it's as long as you look good, that's the main thing. Because I was thinking, shit, to make top 6, he's going to be stepping over some really big names. And Luke has never really brought top conditioning yet. No. He's got a lot of things. He's not missing anything. His potential is incredible, but I did not expect. I mean, I saw a photo that morning he posted on his Instagram, and I messaged him and I went, "Holy shit, he looked fantastic!" But and after the judging, I mean, he was in that first call out, and he looked kind of shocked. And then I messaged him after judging. I said, "Luke, I think you've got 3rd place, mate." I said, "But be prepared for 4th or 5th," because I thought there's no way they're going to put him ahead of Cedric McMillan and Rowley and Cooklow, and they did.
Quick 5-second, you got to think: is this the biggest surprise the last 6 years in a placing of any in IFBB Pro League?
Who, Luke Sandoe?
Yeah.
I'll have to really think about that one. But,
because can you think of something that's done like coming? I can't say coming out of nowhere, but like 3rd all of a sudden.
Well, Sean Roden last year was pretty impressive, going from 5th when I didn't even have him top 6 because I thought he was starting to decline, and then to come back and win the Olympia, that was pretty bloody impressive.
Okay, so who else would you say?
Oh God,
because this is a massive achievement.
Kamal last year coming out of nowhere, winning the 212.
Okay, so that's even more
that's
surprise.
impressive.
Well, yeah.
Well,
not for you though, because you know Kamal very good.
But I knew how good Kamal was. I knew at his best he could be winning any 212 show, and he did. He won the 212 Arnold Classic in his pro debut.
So now Luke is really. Hopefully, we're gonna speak to him again and ask this: who was the disappointment of the show for you?
Rowley.
But you saw the video, so you weren't that surprised.
Well, I knew he wouldn't be able to turn it around. But he's never, I keep saying this, he's never brought his A game to the Arnold. And the thing is, the biggest amount of hype was around Rowley after what he did at the Olympia. From going like 6th place, 6th to 8th, to 3rd place. Many argued he could have been 2nd. So really, he's kind of going in as the biggest talk of being Sean Roden's biggest competition. So, I mean, I heard a lot of reasons and excuses I've seen on his Instagram. I've heard rumors. Heard that he only got back from Curacao 8 weeks before to get ready in Q8. Then I heard he'd had knee surgery. Somebody else said he had food poisoning. And the thing is, even if he did get food poisoning in Nepal, he shouldn't really been guest posing 2 weeks out if he only had 8 weeks to prepare.
Let's go by the names, and you say what you think, and I'll just give a little bit, say what I say. So we start with Brandon Curry.
Yes. What?
So winner.
Yeah. Well, actually, after the judging, I had Bonac edging him. I did have Bonac just pulling it.
Hey, turn this off. Brandon's listening.
No, I did. No.
Like
and then
the other.
after the judging, we did the wrap up, and I said, well, it all depends upon what happens tonight, because Bonac. And then I looked at the night show, and Bonac did definitely peak. I mean, he's so consistent with his conditioning, his separation, his quality, his everything from the back is so detailed and well developed. I just thought he just came out. He didn't look flat, but he maybe just a couple of percent. He didn't get any better, put it that way. When Brandon came out, because Brandon was number 1. So Brandon came out, and I went, oh my God, I can't wait to see how he looks next to the others. Because for me, when he came out and did his posing routine, he looked better. And I spoke to him afterwards, and he said, he says, Giles, I definitely filled out. I filled out a little bit. And it was just enough, because everything then looked harder and fuller. And the crowd went crazy for Brandon. But it was still, for me, it was still a flip of a coin. But he did, Brandon told me that he was, he said, quote, he said that he got a clean score at the judging, which was surprising. But it was a win, and it was a good win, and the improvements he'd made were absolutely sensational. And the thing is, everyone was saying, oh my God, he looks so much bigger than he did at the Olympia. He was actually 10 pounds lighter. He was 250 at the Olympia. He was 240.
Brandon.
Yeah, because these guys with these kinds of huge muscle bellies, sometimes when they do drop 10 pound and they gain more separation and quality, they fill out properly, and they're really the condition's good. They sometimes do look. He looked 10 pounds bigger, not 10 pounds smaller.
I had Brandon winning because I like his shape more than Bonac.
The taper was better. They had more of a taper. Bonac is there's something going on in William Bonac's like second row of abs. A few people were talking about it backstage and at the event. And it has kind of because he is so maxed out on his frame. He's kind of been looking as good as he has for the last 2 years. I'm not sure what more he can do to his physique apart from further refinement. Thing is, he is so refined. Like I said to Brandon afterwards. I said, Brandon, I said this is the day I was leaving. I said, Brandon, you've still got improvements to make, because he had him. Brandon's back was more detailed. Mm-hmm. There was more going on in the glutes and the hamstrings. It was everything was flickering. The detail was incredible. But Brandon can still get a little bit harder in some of the back shots. Like the rear double bicep next to William's like separation, like around I said to Brandon, I said, there's some areas of your back that's still a little bit squishy. I told him, and he agreed. He says, I said, if you look around, I'm going to be a proper nerd here. I said, if you look around the rear delts and the scapular area, I says, there's, William is actually like he's been carved with a knife, whereas there's still a little bit more refinement that could be done. And I think I'd like to see a little bit more calf development. But I tell you what, if Brandon can improve like he has from the 2017 Olympia to 2018 Olympia and the last Olympia to this Arnold, I think he has got a very, very good chance of winning the Olympia.
Yeah, so I had Brandon winning for me, better shape, a little bit taller, a little bit more eye-pleasing physique. But you can argue also for people who had Bonac winning.
Yep.
This is not like a Kuklo Beke 2014 Brazil screw job.
No.
This is like if Bonac would have won, you haven't gone mental. You know, it's like
the top two was pretty clear.
Yeah. So I have Brandon winning, you have Brandon winning. Let's go to other one. Bonac, what did you see, and how is he? What's going on now? What's his next move? Because this is,
I don't know. I think William Bonac can do a Sean Ray. I think he could be, for the next 5 years, he will be a consistent top 5, top 6 Olympia finisher. He's so consistent with his conditioning. He always brings his A game. He's the opposite of Rolly. He brings his A game to the big shows. He always brings it, and then he fades at the post-Olympia or the post-Arnold shows. He always looks his best kind of when it really counts. His posing was fantastic. Oh, his posing's wonderful. His conditioning, his quality. You cannot fault William Bonac. I think he's fantastic. Yeah.
Luke Sandoe in third.
Oh, that was amazing.
When I saw his hotel picture, I was like, can he actually be top 4? I texted you, Luke, top 5. You said, well, I said, Luke, that's the look I expected you to have in another year or two. Because he's 31 years old. He only turned pro in 2015. And I kind of saw that potential in him, but it was not as immediate as it was at this Arnold Classic. It was more like a year, 2 years, and he absolutely brought it. Sergio Oliva is psychic, Junior?
Psychic?
Do you think? So Luke, great. How was his routine with the music? Because at home, for people, we couldn't see the routines with music at home because they messed up the screen. So how was his routine?
I was speaking to Luke the day after the show, and I said, Luke, your posing because his posing has improved, but there still needs a lot more improvement. And then he said he was actually he was getting really bad cramp in his hamstring and somewhere else, and he said that was why. Because I said some of your poses were a bit jerky and a little bit amateurish compared to some of the other guys, and he said that was because he was suffering from cramp, but. Luke, I know you can still do much better posing because I think he's capable and he's got a really nice, symmetrical, thick, solid physique, and he could definitely do better with his posing. But yeah, fantastic.
Well, physique-wise, the best he could achieve for that day. Fantastic, and we congratulate him. It's just fantastic job.
Did you see him when I really knew where he was going
to... When he won and he looked at you and pointed the finger.
Oh, yeah.
On Global Muscle Instagram.
I saw when he... I really knew that he was going to be, like, well in the top 6 is when he had the call out with Cedric McMillan.
Yeah, but they came out, both of them.
And I was thinking, shit, this is for 3rd and 4th. And I was going absolutely bananas. It was absolutely incredible. So, the excitement. And I think the fact that he's a new face and... You know, it generated a lot of excitement. It really did, and he won because I put a little because I was going to bring some clips up in this one, but obviously we have audio listeners, so I've put them all the clips, stage clips, behind the scenes stuff in episode 38 of Muscle News Weekly. It's
out today.
It's out yesterday.
I thought you posted it today.
We're posting this one a day late.
There you go. In fourth place, I am. It's not meant to be, eh? Cedric. People 5 years, 6 years ago had him as the next Arnold Schwarzenegger almost, as the new guaranteed Mr. Olympia. They said he was the savior of classical bodybuilding in open class. I don't know what's going on.
3-4 years ago, I said there's two people that had the ability to knock out Phil Heath on stage. The two people I said were Sean Roden and Cedric McMillan. I actually lost faith in Sean Roden after 2017 Olympia. I thought, he's starting to slip now. And Cedric was getting like 9th and 7th and then 9th and then 9th again at Olympia. And I just thought, it's not going to happen for either of those guys.
And when he put on that thing on his head, in the audience, what were you thinking when you put what's it called?
The bird box.
What were you thinking then?
I don't know what I was thinking. I was kind of thinking... I was actually trying to look at Arnold's reaction.
But he likes everything Cedric's doing anyway.
He loves it, yeah. Because Cedric came out and he was actually, there's a big like Arnold statue, like a big...
yeah.
And Cedric was kind of hanging off it, posing. And Cedric kind of goes with the flow. He kind of makes it up on the spot. And it was I don't know, he's a very creative person. He kind of just goes with it. And I was not too shocked. I think if somebody else had done that, I'd have been shocked. But the fact that Cedric did it, I was like, okay, that's a kind of the thing. But I didn't get that it was the bird box thing until somebody said on the forum, but 2 days later, I was like, what was that all about? What did you think?
I just
didn't like it.
First of all, it's the same music he's had on for the last how many shows now?
Yeah.
So I really liked it a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
That routine.
Same music.
No, but same routine. Like, oh no, and he was like, I don't know. Is it over? We can never doubt a bodybuilder out. We can never say it's over.
Well,
and we want him to do good, but like he got beat by Luke, man.
Yeah. Well, Cedric's around 40 years old. If you look at Sean Roden.
It's 43.
43 winning the Olympia. You know, there's always potential for him to kind of pull it ahead. But I don't know. With Cedric, it's that midsection. As soon as he came out, the midsection was a bit like it has been at the Olympia for the last couple of years. It was just a little bit something going on, squishy, or just some wateriness or bloatedness or whatever, whether he eats too much. But Cedric looked good. I just didn't know where I had no idea where I could him. I just didn't know where to place him.
Do you agree with the fourth? Would you have him? Would you have him if you were the judge?
Fourth.
Would you have him fourth?
Fourth.
Think a little bit now.
Fourth. Hang on. Yeah, fourth is fair because I didn't even have him fifth. But then where like Josh was off, Josh was like 8 to 10 pound off being absolutely fantastic.
Then we go to Rowley in fifth.
Okay, Rowley was. I don't know. Rowley wasn't even as good a condition as he was last year, but and he was even worse for the night show. He was actually like his legs were just from the side. There was just no conditioning. There was no detail. He kind of looked a bit pissed off as well when I saw him at the meet. Like Ron was interviewing, and I just got a real kind of negative vibe from him. I think maybe he just hoped that it would all come together, and maybe if the food poisoning did affect him, I just think he just tried to. Thing is, he was getting really bad cramp. His ab, was rolled up, and I've seen that happen at the 2011 Arnold Classic with Samuel Haddad, and it is to do with cutting water too much because they think, we've got all this water to get off, and it's actually not water; it's actually body fat. But having said that, I'm a huge Rowley fan. I don't think he'll be ready for the Arnold Australia. He won that last year. He managed to pull 15 pounds off from last year's Arnold Classic in Columbus to the Australia. I honestly think he should skip the Arnold Australia. I think he should go back to Q8, and I think he should go and get absolutely shredded for the Arnold Brazil, because I think if he comes in, absolutely nails that, looks like he did on the Saturday night at the Olympia, then then he needs to shut it down and then go and get absolutely inside out shredded for the Arnold Classic. Get that waistline nice and small like it did on the Saturday night or at Prague or at the Arnold Australia, and then just go and be in that first call out and give Sean Roden hell.
For me, it's up and down. For me, this is it's kind of not a setback that much in it because we saw the video.
It's not a setback.
But the only setback it is, this is what they think about if he's tight to win the Mr. Olympia. He's not reliable.
No, I disagree.
He's always up and down.
Yeah, but no one will care if he wins the Arnold Brazil. Sometimes it's the last show in people's minds. So if he turns up looking fantastic at the Arnold Brazil, I don't know. I don't think it's one show. It's one show. I just think he's not meant to do the Arnold Classic because he never seems to. I saw him. I was there. I went out to see him in Rotterdam 6 weeks before he did the 2011 Arnold Classic, and I remember he stripped off at the end of his training session. He was hitting some poses, and I was thinking, shit. He looks like he really needs to get his arse in gear now because he is looking off for 6 weeks out. I would be panicking, and he still didn't really bring a good enough look to that Arnold Classic. He took 8th place that year, and I remember seeing him be feeling really disappointed for him. And from all the Arnold Classics I've seen him at, he's never brought it, but he always seems to bring it. He always seems to go, oh, okay, and then he learns, and then he does another show afterwards, and he looks fantastic.
So would you have him in 5th?
No, I had him 6th or 7th.
6th or 7th?
Yeah, because his condition was way off. Way off.
Kuklo in 6th?
Kuklo looked good. Very good.
Yeah,
he looked good.
In good condition.
I would say replicated the condition he had last year, so he's managed to at least hold his position from last year.
A huge frame, big guy on stage.
He's so full.
Very popular against the crowd, isn't he?
Yeah, and his posing, it's funny because I've given him so much shit for his posing. In the first 30, 40 seconds of routine, I was like, yes.
Yes, and then you were...
He's done a really good choreographed routine. And then what happened?
I saw you on the... You were like, yeah! And then you were like, oh shit. No, well, never mind.
He just went back to his normal...
Did he do that one? Or?
Oh, God, I was zoning out by then. Because I like... I like good pose. And I think he's got such a nice physique, such a great physique. And I just think, come on, put a routine together.
No, Kuklo is a good guy. He's got a lot of support there. Mm-hmm. Amanda Latona's doing the commentary, so he's part of the... Mm-hmm. But top 6 is a good place for him.
That's fantastic at the Arnold Classic. Yeah, that's a good... He's holding his position.
Yeah, holding his position. Brandao, wasn't it? Brandao in 7th.
You look fantastic. 25 years old. 25 years old!
For the people liking the more classical shape, he's exactly what they like, isn't it?
I spoke to him at the Meet the Athletes because Ron went to interview him and I said, but he doesn't speak English.
Oh, he's being...
But Ron interviewed him and I was like, bollocks, I wish I'd interviewed him myself now because he's, I remember seeing him at saw him his pro debut in the San Marino 2017 when he took 8th place, first call out, getting called out with Brandon Curry, Cedric, Hadi Chupin, and crazy potential. But I spoke to him afterwards and I said, so how, your English is good. We were having a proper two-way conversation. He says, yeah, I've been training at Gold's Gym, California for the last 7 weeks and it's really helped his English.
Do you speak any Spanish, by the way, Giles?
Me? No.
Nothing?
Zilch.
Okay. But for people, he weighs more than you think, doesn't he?
He's 6'1". He was 245 in 2017, and he said on the little clip I actually put in Moss News Weekly because I was filming him as he on my phone as Ron was interviewing him, and I think he said he was about 248 to 250. So he's not small, and people saying
he looks a little bit smaller than some of the other guys, though.
25. You
remember Justin Compton when he was 23?
God, yeah.
No, but he's doing it the right way, slowly, steady.
Yeah, I said to him, don't rush anything. Please don't rush it. And I think, because keep your aesthetics. And he said, aesthetics. Giles, I love aesthetics. Yeah. So he's on the right track. His condition was good. His symmetry's fantastic. The crowd loved him.
So you would have him higher? You would change him with Rolly, or?
Yeah, just purely on condition.
You sure about this?
Yeah. No, Rolly wasn't in contest condition.
Yeah, but Rolly's so freaking still some shots.
He looks like he's guest posing. You can't turn up to the second biggest bodybuilding show in the world looking like you're 4 or 5 weeks out.
No, we can't.
You can't do it.
We can't have Brandao beating Winklaar. No.
Well, I've got no argument. But at least Brandao.
How was his routine, Brandao?
Good.
A big. What can I say? I have to say a big disappointment for me. Because I expected a much higher. Josh in 8th.
Yeah, Josh, yeah. He was off. I think he was about 280 on stage, but he's actually, I think he's going to peak for the Arnold Australia. He was
hometown.
He was 2 weeks. He looks to me,
Home country.
he could really nail it in 2 weeks. If he lost 8 to 10 pound, his waist still coming a little bit. Everything will just pop more. Because from the back, he was just, it was like he was when I saw him at Tampa in 2017. He was just watery from the back. But that can be rectified.
Yeah, but now we have to talk about what happened on a Classic today. We can't talk about what's going to happen in Australia. We talk about right now. Disappointed.
Yes, I'm disappointed. Yeah, not. His posing was fantastic. His
Fantastic
physique,
routine.
Oh, it was fantastic. Because he said on episode 9, didn't he? He said, yeah, I'm going to win that.
He won the $5,000 best.
10,000.
10,000. He won $10,000.
Yeah.
Best routine at Arnold Classic. Yeah. Some people didn't like it on the boards. You remember?
Yeah.
I liked it very much.
It was good. It's creative. At least he actually put some. Actually, I think it's probably
beautiful routine.
Him and it was between him and Bonac, really.
Yeah, but Bonac won. We forgot to mention the most muscular man award.
Yeah, and I actually said
an award. I don't know what's
most muscular award. I said to Steve and Ron, I said he's got second. I said because they always give that to the second. It's a consolation prize.
So for the people who are younger who hasn't followed bodybuilding forever, can you explain to me? Because I don't even know what's the most muscular man award. Because remember, Dexter got it over Beek and Winklaar. Remember, and Branch Warring has been winning it over a lot bigger guys. So explain to me, what's the most muscular man award?
I don't have a clue.
And I don't have no clue.
I don't know what it is. When Arnold was interviewing, he says, hit a most muscular. I was like, oh, it's the guy with the best most muscular award.
No,
and I don't think even Arnold knew.
No. Oh, he didn't even know.
I don't know what it is. To me, it's a consolation prize. To me, if I was in that lineup and I won it, I'm thinking, oh, shit. I've got second.
Yeah, so congratulations to Bonac for winning it, though.
Yeah.
So in 8, Josh, disappointing. I expected him to be top. We predicted him top 3, didn't we?
Yeah, I thought he was going to be about 4th. I'd like to have seen him around 4th place. If he'd have been in his best condition, he'd have been probably 4th place or 3rd.
And in 9th place, who I might actually have in 8th, I was impressed. I don't know why people are not talking about it, even though he wasn't Akeem Williams.
Oh.
What a freak. I seen your reaction.
Oh my God. I had no idea. I've only seen him
I've
only seen this guy in photographs. When he came out, I actually, because I was at breakfast with him and his girlfriend, his wife, whatever, the day after the show, and I said, Akim, I said, fantastic job, man. I said, I didn't realize how good you were.
Huge.
And then came the critique. I said, just, he nearly choked on his omelette.
Chris, all of a sudden, Carlton is from Fresh Prince. He did that for like 10 seconds with his leg. Yeah. With this, you remember? Like all out of the blue. It was weird.
I did mention that to him.
What did he say back?
He said it was very on the spur of the moment.
He just started doing the Carlton dance?
He just started channeling Carlton from.
But it was only for like 5 seconds and he stopped. But anyway, because in the light, he looked. Was he the biggest guy out there? Was he bigger than Josh?
Yeah. He was rounder. And do you know what he weighed? I asked him what he weighed. He weighed 265.
Oh, I was expecting more.
And he's got a bit of distension which could be worked on, which, with the carb up process and stuff, sometimes it's just purely a matter of that. But I said, Akim, I says, you're probably 10 to 15 pounds away from winning any pro show you go in. So he was, he needs to drop, because I said to him, because Brandon Curry was the first guy coming out, and Akim was number 2. And I said, you know what, you've got the same quality muscle that Brandon has, but you just do not have the condition yet.
I'm a little bit, what can I say? I was surprised how big he was, and I like the bigger guy, so he looked great.
Great structure.
But how many years, we've said this, he's relatively new. He hasn't been competing for more than 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
So we can't. This is not like, it's never going to happen in condition. We can't say that.
He's only young. He's only early 30s.
Yeah. But it's about time because he took a long break and he worked with Oscar Arden.
Yes, he worked for Arden. Yeah.
And I met Oscar Arden in Romania in November, and he told me Akim has started his diet for this show in October.
Yeah. I mean, his readable bicep was just like Broly's. It was just no detail at all. But the thing is, he's got the muscle size he's got, the thickness, the roundness, the structure, the symmetry, the tiny joints. All he needs to do literally is, maybe he should go for the Arnold Brazil as well. But I want to see that guy I don't think he should be any heavier than 255. If he's coming into the Arnold Classic like that, I'd love to see him shave off 10 pounds.
So Akeem's got a great future.
Oh, fantastic.
Great future.
Fantastic.
Strong, motivational in the gym. People, when you see him in the gym, you're like, whoa, this is not like pump. Well, we know all the people, but we like that, so we don't gonna. Okay. 10.
He likes his omelets as well. I think he had 4 or 5 omelets right next to him.
Big man.
Big
10th
dude.
place, we had. I forgot right. No. Oh. And the way I said, oh, he got a little bit overlooked. No, he didn't get no call-outs. Victor Martinez.
Oh. Do you know what?
You see your reaction?
Saturday night, Victor had a selfie with me.
He looked great.
Victor had a selfie with me, and I was speechless. I didn't know what to say to him.
No, third and last. No disrespect to Mikael, and it was
Charles Dixon.
Yeah, but it didn't look right, man.
When he came out by himself,
Third last call out.
when they bring him out by themselves, I was like, whoa! Everyone, there was Stan McCrary, remember Curly Top? Chris Cormier was sat behind me, and like, I'm sure it was Chris Cormier says, "Shit, Victor could get 4th.
He's on like."
His colour was fantastic. His condition.
Looked young and healthy. And
oh, he looked amazing. Because when we were at the Meet the Athletes, Ron interviewed him, and Steve was going, look at Victor. And I said, well, all I can see is like his arms in his t-shirt, and I can see his face. And he says, no, we've not seen Victor like this for years, because they know Victor very well. He's from New York. And they said, yeah, he's. I can't really tell. When he came out, I just thought, oh, this is the best Victor I've seen for. It's the best Victor I've ever personally seen.
He looked. What? Oh, you personally seen?
Personally seen.
Because you didn't see the Olympia 2007. No.
But the thing is with Victor, this is what Bob Chicks said on the forum once. Why Victor didn't win the Olympia in 2007.
For people, you go to musculardevelopment.com. You press on forums and you make an account, and you can say whatever you want.
Yep.
All the people,
within reason,
all the people that love bodybuilding. If you want to talk about bodybuilding, please come.
Yes.
So what did Bob Chick, the legend, say there?
He said Victor's someone who comes out very strong but fades very quickly, whereas kind of Jay gets better. But and I could see like by the time Victor was called out, he obviously lost his pump. He lost his pump, and I just don't know. He just kind of looked. I just feel so disappointed for him, because he brought something that was very, very impressive, and for him to kind of get last call out and a placing that's really, it's sad. I don't know what to say. It's very disappointing.
Looking at the results, was 10th fair?
See, who would he have placed ahead? I don't know.
No, the only thing I think. As Arnold, how many does he have?
He won 2007 Arnold Classic.
And multiple other shows.
Oh, yeah.
And after all those, like, deportation, remember that thing? And he came back, and the screw job of Olympia 2007. At least give him a second. Just give him the call out. So at least he because imagine being in that last call out when you look that good.
I would still like to see him maybe go and do another show and win it. Just so we can not call this a bit of a... Because it was disastrous for Victor. It's disastrous.
Can he win a show in 2019?
100%. 100% Victor. I believe that. He looked amazing. No signs of aging, no signs of...
No, he looked young.
Nah, he looked amazing. But thing is, if he doesn't get that first call out, he fades so fast. Yeah. Like by the time he came out, he didn't look as good as he did when he came up by himself at the start. So
Charles Dixon, the tank in 11th. Was he was 11th, wasn't he?
I believe so.
Yeah. What's your opinion?
He was 216, he said when I interviewed him at the Meet the Athletes. He looked great. He just obviously very, very outsized by the bigger guys, because he's 5'3". He's very short. And I don't think
But what does this say about
100%?
What does this say about the 212 class? If he was close to Kamal in 2017. 2008.
2018.
Kamal 212, and here he was way out of his.
Kamal beat him by 1 point, 22 points to 23.
So, and here he was clearly out of the running.
Yeah.
What would you? Did he look better as a 212?
Yes.
He did.
Yeah, the best I've seen Charles was last year at the Arnold, because I spoke to him at the Alligator Bar in Vegas at the Olympia, and he said, I think this was my best package. He got 10th at Olympia last year. And I said, nah, mate. I said, you look better at the Arnold Classic. And then he said to me at the interview I did at the Meet the Athletes at this show, he said, yeah, Giles, I went back and had a look at the pictures, compared them to Arnold, and you were right.
All-time best Charles Dixon. Where would you place in this lineup? All-time best.
I don't know. That's a tricky question, mate. It's a tricky question. Thing is, it was such a solid lineup. It was such a good lineup.
Some people say this was the best lineup we had. When people say this is not a good lineup, then they don't know bodybuilding.
They're smoking crack.
Have you tried? Oh.
No. My friend has. He said it was great.
Hey. This is a
I'm joking.
This is a children's show. Yeah.
No children watch this show, trust me.
Kids need to get pumped. Of course they watch this.
Do they? Okay. Hi.
In 12, Mikael, he had a nice Van Damme kick in the beginning.
Yeah, he was doing backflips and all sorts on stage. Yeah,
nice shape.
Yeah, his chest was, I remember just side chest, his chest was so hard and freaky. He looked, he's got great potential. A young guy, nice shape. Yeah, he's there's
from Russia?
No, not from Russia. He's not from Russia. No, near Russia. I can't remember.
I want to say that name wrong.
Is it Uzbekistan? I think it's because I think he had a jacket that said Uzbekistan.
Uzbekistan.
Yes. I hope I'm right. If I'm sorry, I apologize if I'm not.
Let's go to Classic.
Yep.
We can. Who do we have as our main guest today?
George Double Peterson,
who won the Arnold Classic.
Oh, clear win.
So first Arnold Classic. Yeah, we go. Who? George Peterson. Was it a dominating victory? Was it a clear victory? Was it hard fought? What's your opinion? Some people say it's not classic. Some people say this. Some people say Steve is classic, more classic. Some people say George just killed the lineup. What do you think?
Well, did I read somewhere today? I've got it in my brain that he won by 1 point, beating Steve Laureus.
Yes.
Is that true?
That's what somebody said.
Okay. We can agree on that.
So we don't want to say that's a fact. We don't want to put that.
Yeah. So I've heard, if that's correct, that it was very close. Steve Laureus was fantastic. His condition was very good. I've never seen him before. He wasn't hitting some of his back shots right, which is because he's got a very good readable bicep, but he was scrunching up too much. So that was difficult to try and gauge how good he was from the back. But his condition was very good. Lovely, beautiful poser, fantastic arms. Just a very, very good classic style poser. You know, with the tilts and the just the kind of the classic style posing.
So you had George winning.
Yeah.
I had George winning too.
Yeah, he's fantastic. I had him winning 6 weeks before the show.
But I'm very excited for Steve in second. Yes. What a fresh physique.
Yeah, no, I can't wait to see him at the Olympia. He's fantastic. It's the first time I've seen him on stage.
In third, who do we have there?
Courage.
Opara. Courage.
No, was it? And fourth was Keon.
So who was in third?
Courage.
And Keon in fourth.
Yeah, Keon's very good. First time I've seen him. I was filming Flex Wheeler, his prep coach.
Yeah.
I was filming him shouting because he was Flex Wheeler was just sat in front of me to the left, and he was shouting encouragement. So I was filming that on my.
Some people say he has the perfect classic physique, but he's very small in height compared to some of these guys.
Who, Keon?
Yeah.
He's 23. He's a kid. I mean, he's fantastic. I mean, Courage is only 25, 26.
But does his height hurt him?
No.
No,
I don't. Not at all. Not in Classic. Because the thing is, everything's proportionate with Classic because you can only be a certain level of thickness and size and body weight at a certain height. So it kind of equalizes.
I have one guy I like who didn't place that well, and you have also a guy. I like Jason Lowe. I thought he looked pretty good. Jason.
I'm sorry, I can't picture him right now, but I think he got 8th place.
I think he looked good. But you had a guy in 5th you really liked.
Oh, Khalid.
Yeah.
I can't say his last name, and I haven't got it in front of me. Khalid from Canada. From Canada. For me, he was like the shock that Courage Opara gave last year when he's like, whoa, who is this guy? He is good. Khaled's posing was fantastic. His condition was fantastic. He is a lot of muscle, not the most classic shape, but he posed classically, so he kind of played the game. So yeah, I really liked his physique, and I was like, I hope he makes top 5, and he did.
For people in Europe, we know about Wesley Vissers.
10th place. That was very harsh, 10th place. I had him 6th.
You had him 6th.
Yeah. I had him 6th. It was his condition was good. I don't because we were worried about his condition from a couple of photos we saw a few weeks out. I thought he looked great. I was shocked when I heard he got 10th place. But like I said, he's another young guy. He's another young guy that has a lot of potential. He's not doing any more shows now until next year. I believe he was very upset for getting 10th, and I can kind of understand that.
But still, last year we saw him winning the pro card, remember?
Yes.
In the pros last year?
Yeah, the Royal London Pro. That was, for me, his best condition.
And many of us had him as one of the favorites in the Olympia. He took
15th at Olympia.
He took last place. Did not place, I think it was.
No, is it up to 16th?
Well, he was all the way out of the... And here he got a 10th.
Yeah. He's got plenty of time on his side. So it's funny because I was sat with who was I?
Did he get any pictures with Arnold? Was there any bonding there at all?
No, Arnold wasn't. He didn't make the finals. So because they have the judging at the expo, and you don't see Arnold there, and then so they didn't really get to. But it's funny because I was waiting down by the lift because they were in the same hotel, the Hilton, where Arnold stays. You see Arnold 2 or 3 times a day, and there's lift, and all this video crew came out, and all these people came out like an entourage, and I thought, it must be Arnold. Out walks Wesley.
Oh, entourage of what?
He had about maybe 8 to 10 people with him.
Wow.
And they were like and it was everyone kind of just stopped and went, whoa.
Oh, he's very popular. This is vintage genetics.
Vintage genetics clothing, yeah.
Yeah, he's very popular. He has a beautiful voice to listen to on his YouTube channel. He's very informative channel.
He's super professional. I love the way he markets himself. I like the way he promotes himself. I like the content he puts out. He puts a lot of informative information out. He's really, basic training stuff, nutrition stuff. He's a real, he's kind of the sort of person that a lot of supplement companies would want to be aligned with. He's a self-starter.
So what's 2 things he has to work on the most to start climbing the ladder now?
Just overall conditioning and just the refinement of his physique. You're not going to have the most refined, mature physique at 25. If he is 25. I think he's 25, isn't he?
Female physique?
Oh, Natalia Coelho. Did you see my interview with her?
She's a great girl.
I love her.
We picked her everybody had her as the winner before. Everybody had her as the winner when we saw the show.
Yeah.
She's the clear-cut winner.
Beautiful. Yeah, she looked fantastic. And because last year she really lacked in the arms. And for me, her conditioning was like a bit too extreme.
Extreme?
No, last year it looked a bit stringy. Okay. And now she's got more roundness and fullness to her physique. She's got the same level of conditioning. It looks nicer now. Everything like I wasn't watching her glutes, but I was watching her walk away.
You did what?
Well, I was. I was looking at the striations and I glutes.
Yeah.
And they were like, she wasn't even. She was just walking, and you could see the striations flickering, but it didn't look too much. Do you know what I mean?
We have to get her on the show.
I'd love to get her. Yeah.
Only 22.
23? 22 years old, yeah. 20, because Shanique's 23, she's 22. She's been competing, I believe, since she was 16 years old.
Did fitness first, then figure.
Figure. At the end of 2017, she won, I think, 3 or 4 pro shows as a figure.
She's been to 3 Olympias and competed in 3 years. Or something like that.
She in 2017, she got like last place in the figure.
Yeah.
Which I said actually on the boards in 2017 was going to happen because I was saying she needs to switch to physique, and then someone said, "Oh, why should she when she's doing so well?" I said, "Yeah, but she's going to get to the Olympia, and they're going to say your quads are too big, and it's not going to, you're not going to do so great at the Olympia." So then she came back in 2018, takes 2nd place at the Arnold, and then 2nd place both to Shanique Grant, the Miss Olympia and Arnold Classic champion, and wins the. 2nd place at the Olympia.
Is there a clear-cut difference between a female physique and female bodybuilding now? Are they getting closer? What do you think?
I think they're holding the line pretty well now. They're pretty well. Yeah, I think there's no problem distinguishing between.
No, there's no problem.
Female physique. No, I think that I was a bit worried about the women's physique. My partner Rosie, she stopped competing last year because we weren't kind of too sure about where the women's physique line was going. I thought 2017, I thought the condition was going too extreme, which isn't.
I prefer female bodybuilding now.
You like it, don't you?
I really like it.
AJ likes the beefy girls.
No, but I just like you got to get it back.
Yeah.
To Arnold Classic, to Mr. Olympia, to everything.
Well, I think we have discussed doing an all-female episode of Global Muscle Radio. So we're going to get on maybe one from each category.
Do people want to at home see the big girls? Let us know.
You probably want to get him in the studio.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
Just out of, we got to give it second, third place. We can't mention their names. What?
Sharonica Henton.
Yeah.
Because the last call out was between Natalia and a girl called Pempragai.
Yeah.
She was very good, but I didn't have her in my top
From
three.
Thailand?
Thailand. She was fantastic, but I didn't have a top.
Very good.
Yeah,
I
think,
just the overall.
What's that?
No. The overall look was very nice.
Yeah, she was very good, but I think because she was so new, she didn't really stand out for me because I was kind of looking at the names because I know Sharonica's made top 6 at Olympia, but Sharonica, if you squinted and actually looked at her silhouette,
I did it underneath the glasses.
Okay, I can't see. You'd think it was Shanique Grant. I mean, upper body she's very beautiful. She's got a really nice feminine face, no skull face or extreme, androgenic look. I thought she looked wonderful, but her conditioned upper body was perfect. But she's always struggled with conditioning in her legs and her lower body, which has kind of held her back from being top 3 at the Olympia, I believe. But she gained some condition in her legs, but her legs had kind of shrunk. So until she kind of gets that balance of conditioning and in all of her body, I think that's going to hold her back from winning the Arnold Classic and even winning the Olympia.
Next division we'll talk about, the wheelchair.
Yes.
Did you have Chris Dim in second?
I had him third. I had the
Spanish
Arnold. Ahmad. Sorry, I haven't got his name.
Was he Spanish, wasn't it? Or
who?
This guy who got second. The third, I mean.
Third? No, he's from India. Pakistan.
India.
I think it was Pakistan or India. Because he was wonderful physique, fantastic chest.
The chest was really. But Chris Dim, you got it since he's such a good story. For people who don't know, Chris Dim used to be a real star back in the day.
2000, I remember seeing Chris Dim at the 2004 British Grand Prix, and I think he took 4th place that year. And that was against Marcus Rule, Ronnie Coleman, and he's kind of like a 212 looking physique.
Yeah.
Before the 212 was long. Fantastic physique, fantastic arms.
Arms were great.
Beautiful genetic shape, great poser. He had better condition than the lad who came third. I'm sorry, I should have had his name in front of me.
There were some problems, even though the condition was better. Some body parts weren't. You know what I mean?
His arms are still incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Chris Dim. So we take our hats off to Chris Dim.
Yes.
Fantastic. Obviously, Harold Keller.
Yeah, he's the
Harold Kelly.
Harold Kelly. He's the Ronnie Coleman at his peak of
he just rolls out. That's not a diss, by the way, but he rolls out.
Well, yeah. And he rolls out those big guns. I mean, he's so thick. He's such an interesting guy. He's just. When you get him on the mic, he just gives you gold. I remember Ron interviewed him backstage last year, and I was really listening in, and I was thinking, this guy is pretty...
Nice interview. He cried later on stage, wasn't it?
And all the other guys really love him.
Nice.
They're all shouting encouragement to each other. And it was just... He's literally the dominating factor of that class, but he's inspiring the other guys to come in and do it.
Men's physique. The way you... Chris, do you see how he stops and he doesn't say anything?
Sorry. No, it was...
And he was...
I can't
Giles!
I can't remember anything about the men's physique.
Did you meet Jeremy Bundy at Phil Heath's after party?
Yep.
Yeah, so now you're a men's physique guy.
So I'm now a fan of men's physique because I met a guy in a bar.
Okay, so Andre Ferguson won?
Yeah, good.
Come on.
What?
What's wrong here? Guys, at home.
Do you know what? I'm going to say this, and I'm sure I'm going to get some shit for this. Men's physique should not have gyno.
And look how he sits back. And Andre Ferguson looked Andre Ferguson looked good?
Yeah, he looked very good. Yeah, he's good. No, he's good.
Who got second? Do you remember?
I can't remember. I can't remember. I don't really pay attention.
Okay,
so I think maybe I was backstage in interviews. And
so Andre Ferguson looked good. Sadiq, who's a big star, who went back to men's. You know Sadiq?
Yeah. Was he 6th or 5th?
He did not place as well as he expected.
6th.
So I'm very unsure because Sadiq has a huge following, and it was it was a big deal. He went back
from men's physique to classic.
From classic back to men's physique. So by placing 6th or 5th, it's a big setback for him in that. So what will his future? I don't know. But congratulations. And men's physique has a big fan base around the world. It's huge. Yeah. So Andre Ferguson, very well done. Mm-hmm. And then we have figure.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah. Two of your girls? Is that what you want to?
Two of my girls. No, my two figure favorites were in this show, so I was thrilled.
I'm a little bit disappointed that Jessica Padilla-Reyes did not get a second place.
I had a second. Nothing against Nadia Watts, who took second. Nadia Watts was third place at the Olympia last year. Nadia Watts is she's a bit shorter. She's got very good conditioning.
A lot shorter than Jessica.
Yeah, but for me, you see, this is a personal bias. I see figure being for the taller muscular girls. I see, not bodybuilders, and I see the short muscular girls being more suited for women's physique. So when I see a short, shredded, muscular girl, I just think I don't really see them as a figure. But that's my own personal preference.
First place was
Sydney Gillen.
Looked great.
I love Sydney.
Huh? She looked great.
Yeah, she offered me a lemon muffin.
A lemon muffin?
Yep. She was stuffing them in her face backstage. I've actually got a clip in Must News Weekly you can see because she's she
deserves all the muffins she can get because she looked great.
She's lovely, and I've never spoke to her before, and she's such a smart, bright, intelligent. I think she's at is it law school she's at, or she's at college, so she's studying. She's won 2 Olympias. She's won the Arnold Classic, and for me, like I was at the 2017 Olympia, and I think Steve Bleckman and Ron Harris had. They had Candice winning, and I was like, nah, look at Sydney's quarter turn, because I said to her, Sydney, it's all about that quarter turn. It's all about, because when she does that, she just looks, it's perfection.
How long are we going for, Chris?
50.
Oh, then we got another 15.
Another 15.
First, I was very happy that so many people, what did people say to you about Global Muscle Show? Because this was your first trip to a big contest after our show been debuting.
AJ, it's so motivating. It's so reassuring to know what we're doing is appreciated, because, and even the pros, a lot of them made comments. A lot of them was big names, said we'd love to come on the show. I think they appreciate that the effort we've gone to, that Chris has gone to by, making the studio look the way it does. And I think they appreciate the vibe of the show. And like the way you fly over every 2 weeks, AJ. I mean, it's just, this is the platform I wanted for the superstars of the sport. This is what I feel they deserve, and we're going to keep making this show better, AJ.
It's so like, you got it for people at home. I fly from Norway, here
every 2 weeks,
because it's like, as a kid when I read the magazine, it was like, what? And now it's like, can't even believe it. But the point is, if you're a fan of bodybuilding, have you seen when people are dissing us and saying we're fanboys?
That's exactly what I am.
Is that supposed to be a diss?
That's a compliment.
Oh, you like bodybuilding? Oh no! Like, have you seen the other guys say? We don't want to mention which channel. You can go and see for yourself.
I know what you're gonna say.
They start off with, okay, guys, I don't even like modern bodybuilding.
Why come on then?
So why the hell do you have a show then?
Yes! I know.
It's just sad. You can't... obviously, we don't want to offend some... We might say something that offends some of the bodybuilders, but it's like, we're fans, Yeah,
but do you know what it is, AJ? I think people must know by now that our intentions are good. Anything we say is with good intent. I've got nothing but respect and huge admiration, and I'm a massive bodybuilding nerd, fan, anorak, train spotter. I'm all of those things rolled into one. I mean, I feel very privileged to be in the position I've been in for the last 24 years doing
I was sitting like this, Chris, at home, texting Brandon Curry, sending him pictures of Soulja Boy for people who know Soulja Boy is.
AJ, he said to me, he says, oh man, love, respect all the appreciation, and AJ's been sending me pictures of this guy, Soulja guy with some money,
and then telling them, come on, like living in the it was just, it's so nice to be involved. And the other thing, Phil Heath Charities event, how was that?
Oh, it was fantastic.
Who can drink most tequila shots, you, Phil Heath, or Ron Harris?
Well, I was on the gin and tonics.
But who's the best drinker? You, Phil Heath, or
Ron
Harris?
Ron can put them away.
Do we have some footage of this in the Muscle Weekly episode?
Yes, we do actually.
That's out.
And you know, because we got there late, because I said to Ron, I said, look, we're going, and I met up with my friend who lives in Columbus, Crystal Fay, who I met her at the 2011 Arnold After
model,
the Jason, the Jason Deere party, and we've been good friends ever since. And in fact, I'll say for episode 12, I'm going to make sure you ask me about my Jenna Jameson story. in Miami.
Ooh, Jenna Jameson.
This is a story connected
I'm not
to
that
my friends.
into Jenna Jameson.
No, I'm aware of her work. No, but make sure you ask that tomorrow. Sorry, it's connected.
Yeah.
So anyway, me, Ron, and Krista, because whenever I come to Columbus, we always meet up, even just for some food or whatever and a drink or whatever. So we got there, and we got a little bit late, and I apologized to Phil. I actually got Crystal was filming it. And he says, no, and he was so appreciative and so pleased to see us. We had a really good talk. And then,
I was Cherie Heath.
Oh, she's lovely. Yeah, she's a real sweetheart. Yeah, I said, Cherie, isn't it? And I went, give us a hug. So I had a big hug and everything.
So they're not stuck up. They're not. People say he thinks he's better than everybody. What? No. So you can confirm Phil Heath is a great guy.
100%. I was honestly, that was probably one of the highlights of the trip. Going to that, it was the Big Bang piano. But it's funny because we got a taxi and it was literally at the back of the hotel.
And how was the fan reaction for him?
Fantastic. Yeah, really good. And it's great because it's how a night like that should be, where they were there to raise money. There was NFL stars there, was basketball players and all sorts of these famous people. Robert Irvine, the TV chef from America, a very famous name, was there. Had a funny moment with him as well.
Didn't you advise him how to make money?
I was giving him business advice. This is like saying to Gordon Ramsay, he makes a nice egg on toast.
Hey,
and he just thing is, he went along with it. And I said, how long have you been living in America then, Robert?
Chris, non-bodybuilding question. Who's best? Jamie Oliver or Gordon Ramsay? Who would you pick in a chef off or whatever you call
What's
it?
That?
No.
What's that?
Gordon Ramsay or Jamie Oliver? Who are you going with?
Personality, Gordon Ramsay.
Yes.
I love food, I can only vouch for Jamie Oliver because I've eaten in his restaurant.
I've been to his restaurant as well.
I'm not the one in Norway. It got shut down after a year.
Oh, really?
It was just like Fridays.
Oh, okay.
And that's...
I've been to TGI Fridays in Oslo. It was the most expensive burger, fries, and Diet Coke I've ever spent.
How much is a burger in dollars? How in Norway? So for people in India now, they can listen to this.
It was something like $70 or $80
for a hamburger and some French fries.
For a cheeseburger, fries, and a Diet Coke. No, I had a glass of wine with this actually. This was back in. This was Oslo, about 2009, 2010.
No, okay. Back to the bodybuilding. Phil Heath. Yeah, so it was nice to see him.
Yeah, it was wonderful, and it was good because I think they raised just under $50,000.
Oh,
that night, and it was nice.
Fight autism, by the way.
For autism, yeah, it was to buy iPads to help with. I mean, he said on episode 9, didn't he? To help with their word. There's an app they send to these autistic schools to help with their word power. So it helps increase their word power because autistic children, they have struggle with communication in a conventional way. So anyway. What I liked was because when we got in there was like a backdrop with the autism charity thing. Everyone had a photo with Phil. He spent time with everyone, and I was kind of the last one in the queue. And as soon as we kind of spoke, and he was like, right, tequila. We got this episode. We got a lot. We got Brandon Curry coming on just to say what's up. We got 2 other guests, 1 or 2. We shall see. We shall see who turns up.
Who we want to give first before we give the shout outs?
Also,
okay.
I've managed to line up some very special guests, some big names that actually came to me.
Oh.
Yeah, so...
They're coming to you now. You don't have to harass them anymore.
I was sat there bawling, sat with Arnold, and they're going, and they say, excuse me, Mr. Thomas, can I...
Do you shake Arnold's hand, by the way?
No. I saw him you see him all the time. He was getting his eggs at breakfast and
have you ever said hello to Arnold?
He said hello to Steve, who I was stood right next to.
Okay, so you haven't said hello to Arnold then.
No, but thing is, you've got to kind of act all cool about it. I mean, he doesn't have a lot of security around him.
He doesn't.
But you see him. I mean, Sean. I got some video of Sean Roden had breakfast with him on the Saturday morning. Sean Roden sat there next to him, so they had breakfast. And you see Arnold, and Arnold's lovely. Cool.
Sean Roden, how was this? How did people treat Sean Roden in and out of the arena? Is he a popular Mr. Olympia? Is he
Yeah, it was good. He looked very smart on the Saturday night in his suit as well, and I complimented on his immaculate dress sense. So I like to see him and Flex Lewis. They got a photo together, and I was like, "These
about
guys."
To go there. Flex Lewis, he's looking. It's gonna be epic if he comes back.
Do you know? I had I made Flex Lewis tap out.
Oh,
we had a suit off. because I'm very disappointed. Actually, I'm going to mention your suit as well.
Who made that suit, by the way?
This is Newman's Tailors from London. This was my fully tailored suit that I rushed them to get made because I wanted a fully tailored suit for the Arnold because I like to have a new suit every time I go to the Arnold. So I bumped into Flex Lewis as we were filming the pose down at the front of the stage. And I said, oh, looking sharp there, Flex. He goes, you're looking sharp too. And I went, yeah, it's fully tailored. And he went, oh, no, Giles. He says, look at the lining. And I went, look at my lining. Listen. And then I said, and then he says, Giles, yeah, okay, I can beat that. And he went like that, and he had his name embroidered. Oh. So I went, I see your embroidered suit, and I raise you. Tiger, and he went, oh. He says, I give up.
I used all my money on my chain, so I can only afford this from Sri Lanka, so it's not the same.
That jacket is awesome.
It's from Sri Lanka, so it's not the same as yours.
And
no disrespect to Sri Lankan.
Actually, going back to the Arnold, do you know many people? It's like when I used to go to the pro shows last couple of years, and I didn't have Rosie, who was competing and Rookie of the Year at the Olympia, winning pro shows. It's like as soon as I go up to people, they don't even say hi. I think like Ronnie Coleman said, he went, "Where's Rosie?" Well, it was like this time with bloody you. They're like, I'm going up to people and I'm going, oh, where's AJ? Where's AJ? And I'm like, oh, nice to meet you. Nice to see you again. Don't forget about me.
Only guy I missed in this lineup was the Proud of England, Nathan Diasha.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Bieki.
Oh, man.
Oh, gutted.
Oh, I don't even want to talk about it.
That's gutted. We need to get him on and kind of show him some love because we need to get behind, because he must be so disappointed. I was thinking about him on the plane, actually. I was thinking, how disappointed when he's going to see all the coverage.
And for people who said he's lying, that he wasn't in shape, isn't there something about the election? He has a Cameroonian passport?
Yes.
And
correct.
There's beef with Cameroon and America at the moment.
Yeah, it wasn't like a last minute thing and he left it to the last minute. But also, so going back to saying about the guests coming on, there's one guest, we're talking like an A-lister. Who is in...
The Rock?
Not that A-list.
Okay.
Double A-list. This is, he's going to be in the UK doing a tour with the company he's associated with, a promotional tour next month.
Oh, he's coming to the studio.
So I said to him, look, I need to speak to the guy, because I know the other guy. I don't want to mention any names. I don't want to drop us in it. And he said, I said, look, if you're in the north of England, it's not too... If we could get you in the studio, we could have you sat, I don't know, wherever.
We're supposed to get some supplements from High Tech.
Yep.
There was so much chaos in Arnold Classic.
Yep.
The people who can guess who this person is first should get their first supplement or award, shouldn't they?
What? Sorry, I'm confused.
The guy who's coming to the studio.
Oh, yeah.
People can... We have a new Instagram now, by the way. Global Muscle also?
Yes, Global Muscle Radio. It's coming up on the...
Is it coming up
on the titles every 10 minutes?
Yeah, so we have all our four We're becoming, four Instagrams.
Yeah. It's, every morning I've got, oh, bloody hell, I've got loads of Instagram stuff to update.
Anyway.
Also, I want to give a shout out to Steve Blackman.
Back to our guest first, though.
Okay.
Give us some hints. Give us 2 hints without saying it. And give us hard hints, Giles. Hard hints.
I want to get Psycho.
Okay. And mine is...
And it's got to be...
It's got to be a hard one, though. No, don't say that. No, now you ruined the whole thing. Now
No. Might not be him. Okay, I've just totally...
Okay, let's stop. Okay, you want to give a shout out to who?
Steve Blackman. Yeah, because Steve actually didn't turn up to the Olympia last year. No, because Steve was rushed to hospital.
Oh,
the Olympia. He was the day he was ready to leave, and I spoke to Steve because we were like wondering what happened to him because it was basically found unconscious in his car. And I said, Steve, what happened then? And he said, well, I was doing, because he's 65 years old, Steve Blackman.
He doesn't look it.
He trains 2 hours every day. He does an hour cardio, an hour weight, and like body weight exercises every single day at 65 years old. I actually said to him, I said, Steve, you look better than you did 2 years ago when we were at the Olympia. I said, I a bit of Botox.
He saw that.
And he said, yes, twice a year.
He does it?
Yeah. He's like, yeah, of course I do. What? Duh.
Don't tell him his secret live on air now, is it?
No. And but so anyway, at the Olympia, he was doing intermittent fasting. He was doing keto. He'd been in the sauna that morning. He had a deadline with the magazine to get everything in, and he was on 4 hours sleep a night. He said he wasn't eating much, and he basically came out of the sauna. And I think he was a bit dehydrated, and he was in his car, and his foot was flat on the accelerator, and the car was revving, and he went unconscious. They had to pull him out of his car. It turned out
He's 65.
It turned out he was absolutely fine, but they wouldn't let him fly out for the Olympia. So it was fantastic to see him at the Olympia, and it was to see that guy's enthusiasm and love he has for the sport, and the care he has, and the enthusiasm he has for the athletes. It's motivating, and it's quite exciting, and it's very heartwarming to be around. So yeah, it was fantastic to spend time with him, and he actually gets the best out of us as well when we're there. He makes us work harder, and I like that. Yeah.
I'm already hired a lawyer.
Okay.
Because I'm going to the Mr. Olympia.
You've got to get to the Olympia.
But let's not jinx it. 2 shout-outs, because we got a lot of other things going on. Who's your shout-outs?
Khalid from the Classic. Yep, I've got to give him a shout-out. And I want to give another shout-out to Jessica, because Jessica Reyes Padilla, 3rd place at the Arnold Classic, 4th place at the Olympia last year in the figure, and she is going to the Arnold Australia. I think she flew out a couple of days ago, actually. I messaged her and she said, I'm on my way to Dallas to fly out to Australia. So I really, really, really want to see her win the Arnold Australia, because she's a lovely lady. She actually came and met us, Steve and Ron and Victor Martinez and all our sponsors. She came from the Meet the Pros party. She came and sat with us for about half an hour. She was so tired, bless her. Lovely lady. It was lovely to meet her. And I'm really, really rooting for her for the Arnold Australia.
My shout out is to Chase. The guy won the Arnold. One of our listeners just won the Arnold Classic qualifier. Remember?
Which one?
The Arnold Australia Classic qualifier. Remember we posted about him on our Global Muscle show? His name is Chase.
I don't know this guy. Who is he?
Yeah, please look it up. It's on Global Muscles Instagram. Chase.
I don't know. I feel like there's something we haven't talked about. There's something maybe from the Arnold. Well, anyway, check out episode 38, because I've got, like I said, really, I don't want to put too many video clips or photos in our intros for Global Muscle Radio, because the majority of our viewers watch it on YouTube, and that's where I like to see the views go up. See, a lot of people do listen to it on iTunes. They download it, you see.
And my other shout out is to Minna Pollatti from Finland.
Why are you grinning, AJ?
She's
Is she your new favorite?
Very good woman. Bench world record holder, figure girl, fitness girl. She's on Gladiators in Finland. You know her, the blonde.
You still have
Trish Stratus 2.0.
I've heard you mention her.
Yeah. No, but anyway,
Chase,
something you want to
Chase Savoy. Is that not right?
That's a hotel, isn't it?
We gotta say
Savoy.
since he's a big fan of the show.
Savoie.
No. Say something, Giles, just before I find him.
I can have a little sing.
That's that guy I thought it was a girl, you remember?
Yeah, AJ's been liking pictures of
guys
my
battery is some shit iPhone.
Oh, sorry, my battery.
We'll get him in the next round.
Episode 12's coming up very shortly, so.
Yeah, that guy. I thought it was a girl.
Also, if you go to the Global Muscle Radio Instagram, please send us DMs for any feedback for how you like the show, because the original format of this show was the intro, and then we have our main guest. But it's the episode 9 was 3 hours 10 minutes, because normally we like to keep it to around 2 hours, and not a single person complained about the length.
Can't they just pause and watch the rest later?
Yeah, well, that's but
people don't do that anymore.
My point is, having more than one guest, no one seems to mind when it runs over 2, 3,
Today we got more than one guest.
Oh, yes.
Well, we got to end it.
I know, sadly. I live for this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And also, I think if we've got time tonight, we might even do a Hot News Live, which we do on the MD Facebook Live. And then the next day, it gets uploaded to the MD YouTube. So please keep an eye out for that as well. We got to go. And watch Muscle News Weekly. That's out yesterday, because there's a lot of Arnold Classic content. Where can you find that one? Oh, it's on Muscular Development YouTube. And who's the host of that show? That'll be me. And Rosie. I forgot. Rosie, what's her name? Before it was the 2000 female. Now it's just like me. You don't even mention her anymore now. Rosie Rascal Hart, my beloved. Who's doing really good with her training now. Yeah, she's doing really well. She's doing she's
a lot of clients.
Since she stopped competing, she's really focusing her efforts onto business. She's on a business master course with a guy called Mark Coles from Nottingham, and to see like her work ethic, everything has just gone to the next level. So it's all
any girls out there, she can really help them get in shape quick.
Yeah.
So contact Rosie Hart on the Facebook or Instagram.
Great glutes as well, but enough about me.
Okay.
Okay, well, I think that covers everything for the Arnold Classic. So make sure you check out, obviously, the rest of the guests, and we will be back next week with episode 12 with even more guests.
New Zealand Pro, quick, the winner.
New Zealand Pro.
Was just now. New Zealand Pro, 212 show. Only 5 guys in it.
Oh, a guy called, one of Patrick Tour's guys.
Patrick Tour, your guy.
I can't remember his name.
Come on, Patrick Tour. He's one of your best friends.
I can't think of his name. I'm sorry. Polites. Polits. P-O-L-I-T-S. That's what my brain is saying. But it was a pro debut, and he's won his first pro show. So fantastic result there. So, okay, AJ, well, I think we better wrap this up.
We got guys coming in.
Get some more guys on the show. And like I said,
great to be back.
Great to be back, and we appreciate all feedback. So make sure you check out the MD Global Muscle Radio. Big thank you to our sponsors, High Tech Pharmaceuticals, who make this all possible. And a big thank you to this guy here, Chris Clark.
He's got a new haircut. You can't see it, but it looks great.
He's our special nerd in the background who we love and adore. Super nerd. Hey, do you know what? We're all nerds, and I'm very proud of that. So, right, okay. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting, and we are out. And welcome back to MD Global Muscle Radio with me, your host, Giles Thomas, here at the Pump Media Studios, joined by my co-host, AJ, all the way fresh from Norway. And we are joined today by our very special guest, the new Arnold Classic Pro winner, George "The Bull" Peterson. Yeah!
Fantastic.
George, you look very happy, mate. Why is that?
Oh, man, I'm telling you, I'm just ecstatic. Like I said, I'm on cloud 9. I've been floating up there. Well, I don't know how long. I'm going to be up there for a long while. It's going to be a long while before I come down, you know?
Yeah, I heard, I think I saw on the MD forum, literally about half an hour before I drove into the studio, that you'd put 20 pounds on this week. So, so obviously you're off the chicken and broccoli then.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like I'm off the chicken and broccoli, and I'm on to pancakes and burgers.
Oh, wow. So, I mean, obviously last week, I'll be honest, I wasn't actually surprised that you won the Arnold Classic. I mean, I remember I said to you backstage, I said that 6 weeks ago, I called that you were going to win the Arnold Classic because for me, you were the easy favorite going in. And I think mainly that was because of all the videos you were putting out for in the weeks. I mean, you were in probably better than some of the contest condition I've seen at 6 weeks out. Was it hard holding that level of condition?
I mean, really, no, you know, because all we would do is we would just monitor my body very, carefully. So if it looked like I was starting to flatten out, get stringy, that's when we would, up the carbs or give me a cheat meal to fill me back in. And then I'd go back on the low carbs. So we would kind of just go up and down and just monitor me very quickly. We wanted to make sure that we didn't lose anything in the legs because we want to make sure we keep as much legs as possible because that's the body part that I always want to keep bringing up. So that's pretty much how we maintained the conditioning and also, didn't go flat in the process,
I had a really good chat backstage with your coach, Justin Miller. Because I've always thought, I said, George kind of looks like a really big 212. You look like someone that's at the limit of the 212, the amount of thickness you carry. And Justin said your limit at your height was 192 pounds.
Right.
And you weighed in, I think, 189. And then he said for the evening show, by the time you'd filled out, you were probably more like 19. I think you were 197. Yeah,
197, exactly. Yep. It was so fun. It was so funny. Like the day before the weigh-in, like I brought a scale. I brought 2 scales, from New York to Columbus, Ohio, just to make sure. And I stepped on. One said that I was 190, 199. It said I was 199. And we was like, great. I stepped on this other scale. It said I was 202, right?
Oh,
so I'm like, wait a second. Which one is right? So we went to Walgreens. We bought another one, and that other one was saying 205, right? Like it's like, and we were like, what the hell? Like, what's going on? All these different scales saying different things. So we went to a local gym that was around there that had it was a scale that was, you could trust, and it was saying that I was around 202. So the scale I had that was saying 202 appeared to be the right one. So we just wanted to make sure that, and that's the reason why we actually got down to 189, because we wanted to make sure that just in case, if one scale saying another and another scale saying another, if we give ourselves that breathing room, there's no way I won't make weight if I'm at least under the 192. You know what I mean?
Were you not worried when you were kind of weighing like 10, 12 pounds over your classic limit?
I mean, I was getting a little worried, but but I would always kind of use Justin, like, to kind of calm me down. Like, if as long as he's not worried, then I'm not worried. So I said, are we good? I mean, do we have anything to worry about? He's like, no, you're gonna make weight. I mean, even if we have to just put you in a sauna for a little bit, you're gonna make weight, no problem. And he said, even if we have to just, even if I have to just starve you and not let you drink for a whole day, I mean, then so be it. And I said, hey man, whatever we gotta do. If you don't want me to drink for 24 hours, I won't drink. I'll walk into the bowels of hell if I need to. So as long as he wasn't worried, I wasn't worried. So we were good.
I'll be honest, when I saw you at the Olympia last year, I think that's when I really became a fan of yours, because the year before, I like the look you brought, but for me, you just didn't really fit that kind of classic criteria. But then I saw you at the Olympia last year when you took third place again, and I was just like, I can't fault the guy, because you brought so much muscle, so much condition. Your back is absolutely probably the best in the IFBB right now. And
right.
So how were you? Were you happier with how you looked at the Arnold as opposed to the Olympia, and where do you think you improved?
Oh my God, I was so much happier with the way I looked at the Arnold compared to the way I looked at the Olympia, because like similar thing was happening with leading up to the 2018 Olympia, where we was putting out a lot of videos, and when I was looking excellent. I was popping in the videos and everything, but when it came to showtime, I was just too flat. So I was conditioned, but I was so flat that my muscles weren't popping. So everything you saw in those videos that I was putting out didn't translate on stage for the Olympia, and I believe that it cost me some, but but I was at least happy that I was able to at least maintain my top 3 spot. So, but for this Arnold, like I feel like we really nailed it. We walked that fine line of conditioning and fullness at the same time. So my muscles were able to pop, and they translated on stage. And it's a good thing we did that, because because Steve he brought his best package to date.
Steve Lawrence.
Steve Lawrence. Yeah, he brought his best package to date, and that made it a good battle. You know what I mean, between me and him. So I was so much happier with the package we brought for the Arnold compared to the Olympia.
Were you happy? I mean, it sounds like a funny question, but were you happy that you beat someone as good as Steve Lawrence? And convincingly? No, he did. It was two kind of different sort of physiques. You had someone. I don't know. I suppose more. How can you really compare them? Really, the apples and oranges, really. But yeah. So tell us about that.
Because Steve has that, like, he has like the God-given shape, like the shape that Steve has. Nobody can train for. He just has that. So yeah, it is apples and oranges. I mean, and the difference between me and him is just like, I have more muscle, I have more dense muscle. Mm-hmm. I mean, but I also have shape too. My shape isn't as like crazy as his shape, but I also have shape with my muscle. So I think, just overall that's what won me that fight between me and him,
Yeah. I think it was only one pose I think he took you on, that was a side chest.
That
was the only one I had him that he definitely took you on. But I mean, you took I think 7 out of 8 poses.
Enough about Steve now. I've saw like the build up was you're on the front cover of MD.
Yeah.
You just won Arnold Classic. And the lead up, it was so. I saw you out in Bev's gym where you had the NPC on. When you did the seminar, the hype show.
Yes.
And it's like you're with Redcon. It's like, are you feeling that you really you have to be you and Brian are the top guys now of the Classic.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Don't you feel like the whole build up was so nice? Everybody expected you to win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it was incredible. It was incredible. Like it just felt like so much was happening. And it was funny is that originally I wasn't even gonna do the Arnold. Me and Justin, we just happened to end up doing the Arnold just from like one little half joke, half comment from Justin. Like we was training legs, and I was sitting on the leg press in between sets, and then he just I don't know. I guess it just came into his mind, and he said, "So George, how would you feel about doing the Arnold?" And he was half joking. He wasn't full serious.
When was
and
this?
I was like, this was like, oh jeez. This was soon after the Olympia. This was probably maybe November-ish, something like that. So I said to him, I mean, I don't care. I mean, if you want to do for it, I'm down. I still feel fresh. I don't feel like I'm burnt out or anything like that. We only did one show, which was the Olympia, and that's it. So we didn't say, all right, let's do it. We kind of just laughed it off, and was like, nah, let's just go for the Olympia 2019. That's it. But we had many conversations with different people that we love and respect. Like we talked with Beth Francis, finding her opinion. We talked with Steve Weinberg. We talked with just different people that we get their opinions. And everybody was saying, why not? Why not? You just fresh off the Olympia, strike while the iron is hot. You still feel good. Go for it. And the Arnold is a very prestigious title. So go for it. And so we said, let's do it. Let's do it. I'm down. And then when we started getting ready for it, and we was putting out all the content, like you said, then Redcon reached out to me.
How long have you been with Redcon?
I've been with Redcon, I would say for probably about 3 months now.
Oh, okay. So it's
about 3 months. Yeah, and because their athlete manager reached out to me, and they told me that Aaron Singman, personally, wanted to get me on a team. So that meant a lot, and shout out to Aaron Singman and my Redcon One family, love you guys, and when I found out they was interested in me, I was like, yeah, I'll go with Redcon, because Redcon is huge, and as soon as I linked up with them, I could see that they were a great company. They were about their business, they're very respectful, they treat their people great. And I was just in love with Redcon from day one. So I got with them, and then I started getting all this exposure from MD, and everything. Jay Cutler, when he saw me at the seminar, he told me that I looked phenomenal. Nice. It was just like it felt like things were just going so right. You know what I mean? And also me being the highest ranked athlete in the lineup, it can also bring a certain sense of pressure because like you said, people expect you to be the one to win. And when you put out all that content, people expect you to follow through when it counts. So the last thing I wanted to happen was for us to all have all this hype, and then we don't nail it come show day, and then it's like it's like this, and then boom. So I'm just happy that we did exactly what we needed to do to just stay focused. Even though we had all the hype behind us, let's just stay focused, stay grounded, do what we got to do, and everything worked out,
But this hype with you, it's a little bit better as a fan because we see how you're looking. You're not. You're posing for us while the hype is. So you see you're in shape, and it's not
6 weeks out.
A lot of people have hype, but you don't see them at all, and then they come to the stage, and then they don't look as we expect them. But with George, you see it. So we're not like disappointed because we see it all the way. So you can back it up all. So that's what's so refreshing with you compared to many other pros. It's very nice to see.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, I think what I had a different mindset going into this show. Because I feel like some guys, they want to hide away. Oh, I don't want to show how I look. I'll just save it up for show day. But I mean, I feel like if you really want to get you want to market yourself, especially nowadays. When it was, with social media, you guys know how it is. It's important to market yourself. That's what the fans want to see. You want to give them something, and when you see that you're on point, you're looking good. I was like, let's show it. Let's show it. It's not going to make a difference. It's really not going to make a difference. If anything, it'll probably help because the better you're looking, you may actually start getting into the heads of of others.
Yeah.
It might
Sorry, Ron Harris told me, because he said that you were sending lots of updates, which were obviously all on MD, and he was saying that Justin Miller, your coach, was filming that on his phone, and he was editing it on his phone and sending them almost daily to MD. That's really good, because I mean, it shows you how easy it is actually to put out content. You know, it's this is something we were trying to tell Josh Lenartowicz in the last episode. We were saying, look, you need to get out more video footage, and he was saying, well, it's too expensive to hire video crews. But it just proves that Justin Miller, someone there with a phone and an editing package on your phone, you know, it's actually easier than you think.
It's very easy, and Justin loves doing that stuff. Like he genuinely loves doing that stuff. He'll sometimes be sitting down, you know, and he does it very quickly. But he'll you know, as soon as we finish training, he'll go right to the counter and he'll just start working on it right away, because he just genuinely loves doing it, you know. But and another different kind of mindset I had going into this Arnold, because I knew that I was the one who had the bullseye, so, you know, no pun intended, on my forehead.
Double side.
Exactly. Like, I wanted to go in there. Like, I called Justin one night. I said, I have a theme for this prep, and he said, well, what do you mean? I said, well, I'm gonna name this prep Tyson. And he was like, Tyson? Why Tyson? I said, you remember back in the day when Tyson was in his prime? Those fights would be over before they even started, right? So that's how I want to treat this prep, because, you know, I keep things, you know, humble, but, you know, knowing that I was the highest ranking athlete here, and you know, and I have, like, you know, all this hype, and guys, you know, want to take me out, I was like, you know what? Let's put out these videos and let's show people that we're coming, and it's not going to be easy. If they want to take me down, they're going to have to really bring it. You know, so I was really like on that, you know, Tyson, like, animal kind of mentality. Like, let's just rock it. You know, let's rock the internet. Let's show them what we're bringing. You know, because even if we show you what we're bringing 2 weeks out, it's not going to be the same what it looks like on show day. It's going to be even better. You know, so that was my whole mentality going into, you know, to the show. You know.
Also, if you're wondering why I just stepped away from the mic there, I picked up the wrong issue of MD. I picked up the one with Antoine Vaillant. I'm really sorry, George.
Oh, no, it's all right.
I had it on the side. I don't know what happened to it, because just for those the viewers that don't know, AJ alluded to it before, but George Peterson is actually the Mr. Coverman on MD. So what was that like having? Did you know about that beforehand, or was it a complete surprise?
It was a complete surprise to me.
Oh,
like,
really?
I didn't know. I didn't know until after the show was over. You know, I saw Steve Bleckman, and you know, he came up and shook my hand, congratulated me, and he's like, guess what? And I was like, what? He's like, you're gonna be on the cover of MD magazine. I was like, really? I was like, really? I was like a kid at Christmas. You know? I was like, really? I was like, I couldn't believe, you know, because the first time I seen first time I seen a muscular development magazine, because I wasn't always into bodybuilding. I got into bodybuilding very late, like about like mid-20s or something. So first time I saw a muscular development magazine, it was Kai Green was on the cover. Oh. And it was the one, I don't know if you guys remember, it was the one where, like, he had his legs spread out, and you see all those crazy striations in his outer quads. You know, he had his mouth open, you know, his like crazy, you know, intense look.
2010.
Yeah, exactly. I think that was it. Yes, that was the first MD magazine, and you know, that I saw, and I never in a million years would have think that I would be on any bodybuilder magazine cover. You know, never. Even when I actually got into bodybuilding, I never thought I would be on a cover. And for me to now be on a cover, it's like amazing. And you know what? Somebody hit me with a fun fact, and I wonder if you guys could fact check this and see if it's true. Has there ever been a cover that's been like a full-on back double bicep shot?
I was just about to say, because it's a black and white photo, which is unusual in itself, and it's from the back. So I don't think, I am trying to think all the different magazines that logged in my head. I don't think there's ever actually been a full body rear double bicep that I can recall of. So there probably hasn't been.
Speaking of your back,
okay,
how will you rank yourself amongst in the open guys of the best back? Because I heard you say best back. I'm not sure if you mean in the world, or if you mean in the classic, or you mean in the open. Can you please give us some more on your thoughts about that?
Put him on the spot now.
Where would you rank yourself in the open amongst best backs?
Oh my God, y'all guys put me on the spot.
Yes.
All right. Well, I mean, if I'm going to be realistic,
yeah.
I would say I would say that I think me at my best, like I could be top 2 back to the Open, and I'm saying top 2 because I'm still including Phil Heath in there. So I mean, I mean how I would look standing next to Phil Heath in the back of Weston, I have no idea. I mean, Phil Heath is a monster, and like I don't know, but I think maybe possibly me and him. I guess top 2.
AJ, who's got the best back in the Open then? Name 3 of the guys right now, currently in the Open, that have got probably the best backs right now.
Obviously, Phil Heath.
Yep, Phil Heath.
Give me the other one.
I'm trying to think.
Who would you?
Flex Lewis, riddle bicep.
Let's see him in the Open first.
Yeah.
So who would you say have the top 3 best in the Open, in your opinion?
Right now?
Yeah. Because then we can see who he's better than.
Good question.
Yeah.
All right. So in the Open, I would say Phil Heath. Let's see. It's too bad. Well, we can't. I mean, we can't include. I guess we can't include Kai right now, right? So, let's see. Who else?
Tough, isn't it? Because you've got guys like Rowley.
Let him answer.
Sorry.
Okay,
yeah.
Sorry. Okay. So we have Phil Heath, and we have.
So are we including Kai or no?
No.
Okay,
making it really hard.
Okay. All right. Jeez. Who else has in the Open has really good back over? I mean, damn, this is really hard.
Tough, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's tricky.
So all right, so I mean, because Rowley has a great back, but I think his is mostly in the lat spread.
Yes.
But I'll put Rowley in there. I'll put Oh, you know what? I'm bugging. William Bonac.
Oh yes. Yeah.
So will you beat William Bonac from the back then?
I don't know. Like it would be a good battle, but I don't know. It's hard for me to say. I mean, like, I think I could be competitive, but I don't know if I don't know.
I think purely in the back, I think top to toe, side to side, I think you got the most complete, most developed, like, your lower lats. It's like Rowley's kind of big in the upper lats, but he lacks a bit of lower lats, not great in the riddle bicep, there's a bit of detail lacking. But in every, the rear lat spread, the rear double bicep, every single area of your back is fully developed. It's lacking nothing. So I think overall, I mean, he's certainly got the best back in the Classic, but I think definitely probably one of the best backs in, like I said, Bonac. Yeah, Bonac, Heath, and George, I would have as the 3 best in the Pro League right now.
You would?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes?
Yes, I would.
One question. When people, what can I say? Some people say that you're not classical look. Mm-hmm. In the criteria type of thing. I had you winning. I don't think it was a discussion. Mm-hmm. But there are some comments about that. Does that bother you, or like how do you think? Like, does that affect you, or how do you feel about when people say, even though you're the winner, and some people say, but he's 212 bodybuilder. How does that? Like, what do you think around that topic?
Well, see, something at this point, like if this was like the first time it happened, I probably, would be, upset about it and, feeling some type of way. But in actuality, I'm at the same place I was when I first got into Classic. Because even when I first started in Classic and I won my, a local show, or an overall at a local show, Eastern USA, and then won Nationals 2 weeks later, I was getting that at that time. People were saying, this guy's not Classic, he's a bodybuilder, he should be in bodybuilding. So I'm just in the same place, even with this Arnold win, where the same people are pretty much probably saying the same thing, he belongs in bodybuilding. So it doesn't really bother me at this point because I'm just so used to it and immune to it. But the people who are saying that, I think they just believe that there's one definition of this word Classic. I think people are just so, I think they're confused by the word Classic. Like, to me personally, like, I feel like the best, in my opinion, I feel like the best Classic bodybuilder of all time is 93 Flex Wheeler.
Yes,
that's what I feel.
Yeah.
Now, see, you guys agree with me?
Yeah,
100%.
Okay,
guaranteed.
So
218 pounds.
doing it exactly now. And what was flexibility? He was a bodybuilder. I mean, so what does that mean? He's not classic. He's a bodybuilder. Even if you go back to Arnold Schwarzenegger and Franco Columbu and Frank Zane, what were they? Bodybuilders. It was, you know what I mean. So it doesn't make any sense. And then go ahead. What were you gonna say, Giles?
Sorry, no, that's just a good point.
Yeah. You know, so that's the way I feel on it. And you have some people who, you know, share, you know, my opinions on that. But, you know, like I don't let the whole he's not classic. He you know, he's a bodybuilder get me down, because like I said, I'm just so used to it. And then now there's this whole thing going on with the whole vacuum. How, you know, they're just raging about the whole vacuum thing, vacuum this. You know, it's kind of it's like blowing up. You know what I mean? But you know, and I kind of just shield myself from the heckling of that too. You know what I mean? Because I don't feel like that a vacuum defines somebody as classic either. I think a vacuum is just something. If your body looks good hitting a vacuum, then by all means do it. And if it doesn't, like my body wouldn't look good hitting a vacuum. Flex Wheeler didn't hit a vacuum, and his body looked great. One of my strong points is my abs, so I'm gonna show that. You know what I mean? So you know that's my whole opinion on the whole thing. You know.
Can you tell us your contest history? Because before that third place at the 2017 Mr. Olympia, I wasn't really that aware of you. So can you tell us, like you said, you got into your bodybuilding maybe the mid-20s. Can you give us like a brief rundown of your contest history?
Oh, sure, absolutely. So, yeah, when I first got into bodybuilding, I won my first overall win as a light heavyweight bodybuilder in 2012. And then I tried to go pro as a heavyweight bodybuilder in 2013. Got dead last at North Americans and nationals, and I didn't like the way my body was looking going up to a heavyweight, so I just completely retired. I said I was done.
Oh, really?
I'm not no more. Yes. Okay. So from 2013 all the way to 2006, 3 years, I was away from the sport. Didn't do nothing. You know, I didn't want any part of it. And just by circumstance, through a friend, I ended up linking up with Justin, my coach Justin Miller, and we just started talking. And I said to him, look, I mean, what about this new classic division? At that time, I didn't know what they were looking for, because it was still new. I think it was like the second year that it came out, or the first. No, it was actually the first year it came out, 2016. So he's like, I don't know, we could try. You're either gonna get first or dead last because you have so much muscle. So I was like, all right, well, let's go for it. Let's see what happens. I don't care. So we did it. I won the overall at Eastern USA 2016, and then 2 weeks later, I won overall at Nationals. That's where I turned pro. 2017, I had to fight my way to the Olympia. I did New York Pro. I came in second to Breon.
All right.
Oh.
And then I did Chicago. I got second there, and that was a little bit of a controversial decision there.
Who were you second to?
The guy's name was Cleveland Thomas. I mean that was his name.
I know the name.
Yeah. So I got second place there. and then
I'm aware of his work.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And then after that, I did Vancouver Pro, and there I got sixth, which was and we couldn't understand that. Yeah, I know. Like it was very and when that happened, I was like, it took so much out of me mentally, because I was like, because everybody was telling me, George, you're so good. But I was like saying to myself, if I'm so good, why is it so hard for me to get a win as a professional? So at that, I was this close. I was this close to saying, Justin, let's hang it up. Maybe we try it again next year, but let's just forget about it. But Justin kept me going. He sat me down, talked to me. He's like, look, let's just keep going. Tampa is right around the corner. Let's do Tampa. So we did Tampa, and we got the win there. And then that's how I got my way to the Olympia. And then boom, top three at the Olympia. Can you believe that? Top three at the Olympia.
So hang on a minute. 2017, you get second, sixth, first, and then you make top three at the Olympia. So exactly. I bet that I can't even. How did that feel when with that year that you'd had, and you're very frustrated, and you didn't think, you're like, well, why am I? If I'm so good, why am I not even placing? Like top six, and then you go and get third place at Olympia. What was that like, and what really changed? Because I mean, I haven't seen the pictures from those lead-up shows, but what really changed? Because you must have, I mean, you absolutely nailed it at the 2017 Olympia. I was there. So what really changed to really take that step up from 6th place at the Vancouver to just a couple of months later, 3rd at the Olympia? How did that happen?
I mean, all I could really say is that for that 2017 Olympia, I really, peaked. I peaked very well. I mean, the ironic thing about it is, like, if you take the 2017 Olympia out of the picture, that Vancouver showing where I got 6th was my best showing out of all those pro shows. Out of New York Pro, yeah, it was my best showing, and I got 6th. So that was the ironic thing about it. Like, and that's what I couldn't understand.
It's confusing, isn't it?
Yeah, so it just took a lot out of me mentally, because it takes a lot of sacrifice to do all these shows. I'm telling my family, look, I can't go out with you, I can't hang out with you now because I got to do this, and I have all these high, I have these high expectations, and then it just doesn't happen. So like it just took a lot out of me. But yeah, that's the ironic thing about it. But as far as when we got with the Olympia and all of a sudden we got that top 3, all I can say is that I just really peaked. I mean, I was rejuvenated. There definitely was a difference up here after Tampa, because when I got that Tampa win, it recharged me. Like I was just yes, finally. And then when your mind is right, your body kind of follows. You know what I mean? So so I think that might have also helped. I strickened up on my diet a little bit to make sure that I really bring that extra detail for the Olympia. Like there was a certain part where I was only on whitefish, just whitefish, nothing else.
Just fish and greens, or just fish?
Fish and greens.
Oh wow, yeah. That always does the trick. I've done that. It's the last ace up your sleeve, and you think, right, I need to really tighten up now. Right, whitefish and greens every meal.
Right. Yeah, and then I made weight fairly easy for that, because for that 2017 Olympia, at that time my weight cutoff was 187.
Oh really? Because they've added weight now, haven't they?
Yeah, so I had to make 187, and by the time we landed in Vegas, my weight was 189. So and I still had days before the weigh-in, so I was like, we good. We're gonna be making weight, no problem. We didn't need any sauna or anything like that. So I think that also took a little stress off me. Because sitting in that sauna for for however long, that's like it's like you're sitting in hell somewhere. So so I just really peaked for that 2017 Olympia. I wasn't my best, but I peaked very. It's hard to explain. I wasn't like the fullest I could have been for that Olympia, but it was enough fullness and plenty condition to get that top 3, The
thing is, even if you're flat, you'll still look good because your separation, your quality, your condition, you might feel flat, but in photos, you'll still look absolutely fantastic. I think feeling full, sometimes is more of a mental thing.
Right. Yeah, that's true. And it's not really necessary for me to be exploding full, because like you said, I do have one of those body types that I look good even when I'm flat, but I was, for the 2018 Olympia, I was too flat, so that was the difference,
So, I mean, you're saying that you weighed in at 189 for the Arnold Classic, and by the time you did the night show, you're 197. That's quite a lot of carbing up and filling out. How? Because I didn't think they did this with the 212, where they moved the weigh-in closer to the show because they didn't want guys coming putting on 20 pounds in like 2 or 3 days. So how long between the weigh-in and the night show was it because that's 8 pounds? That's quite a bit, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, and to be quite honest, I mean, I didn't carb up that. I didn't go up in weight by carving up that much. Like I had, after we weighed in, I had one pretty big carb meal, and then after that, I just had another small carb meal with sweet potato. But most of it was drinking the water back, rehydrating my body.
Right. Okay.
So that was pretty much really how, and also using sodium, putting salt, using salt to refill my body back up. So that's pretty much how I got up to the 197, because we didn't want to push it too high either. We felt like 197 would be the safest bet, without spilling,
So yeah, no question.
Are you thinking about the title now, Mr. Olympia title now, aren't you?
oh yeah, absolutely. Like, it's funny. It's like you would think that after you get that Arnold win, that for a few days, you would just be only focusing on that. Oh, I won the Arnold Classic. Yes, I'm the Arnold Classic champion. But as soon as they announced me the winner and Arnold handed me that trophy and I was walking off stage, the first thing that went in my mind is, all right, I'm ready to start training for the Olympics. Let's get it.
Fantastic. Well, after your pancakes, of course.
After my pancakes, of course. but I definitely got that title on my radar. That's the ultimate goal, to become the 2019 Mr. Olympia. We know that Breon's going to come in better than he was last year. He's not going to give up that title easy. It's going to be a battle. But hey, I'm all about challenges, so I'm going to come in better also. So it's going to be a good show.
How old are you now, George?
Right now I'm 34.
Oh, perfect age. Because I think Breon's at 39 now, isn't he?
Not that old.
I think so. I hear people
Breon's
saying
39.
37 or...
No, he was 38. Well, he was 38 last year, so add a year.
Okay, well then.
Simple maths, guys. Come on.
We need to start the build up already now.
Yes, another front cover from the front.
No, but it's important. Like the way you did it to this Arnold Classic, we always focusing on you. So now it's time to start the Breon versus George already. You know what I mean? Get the hype already.
What about poor Chris Bumstead?
That's true.
What is going on with? What's going on with Chris with his kidneys? Because I don't know is he going to be competing this year, or what's the deal there?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not too sure what exactly is going on with him. I mean, I assume that he is going to be doing the Olympia. You know what I mean? But I don't know what his health status is. I don't know. I haven't really been following up on that.
No.
But he's already made. It's funny. I was laughing. He made a video, kind of stating that he's one of the guys who believes that I'm not a classic physique.
Mm-hmm.
But he says he sees me more as a 212 type of guy and whatnot. But he's entitled to his opinion and everything like that. But hey, I mean, clearly. I'm something that the judges like if they're rewarding in the class,
Mm-hmm.
So
have you? I know Steve Laureus did a 212 last year, and a lot of people say you do look. You would. I've always said it. Actually, I think you'd make a fantastic 212. Have you ever just thought of just jumping in? Like you see some guys doing 212, they do open, and vice versa. Have you ever thought about jumping in a 212 show just to see?
I've thought about it. I mean, I've definitely thought about it.
In the run up to a big show, say, sod it, I'll do a 212.
I've thought about it, and I mean, the only reason why I haven't actually done it, as of yet, is because I didn't want to take any focus on what the primary objective. I didn't want to mess around and do a 212 show, and then let's say that takes away my focus of trying to get that Olympia title in Classic. I just didn't want it to interfere. So if I was going to do something like that, maybe. Let's say if I win the Olympia Classic, maybe then I can give the 212 a shot and see how that goes and everything. I mean, in reality, I'm a very realistic person. In reality, if I want to keep improving, I may eventually have to go into 212 because to have to suck down to that weight all the time can take away from the improvements that you want to hold on to. So if that time comes where I do graduate and have to move up to 212 in order to improve, then I'll do that.
So do you look? What body weight do you look your absolute best at with no weight restriction? If you could pick a number, what do you think would be your body weight? Saying because you said you have to suck it down, so it's a struggle to make it down to the classic weight. What would you be? What weight? I could be on my best, shredded and full altogether. I could be there at 210 pounds. 210. Wow. So it's it's quite a struggle for you to get down to the classic weight then.
Yeah, because I mean, for this prep for the Arnold, I mean, I was conditioned, well conditioned, like at 205.
He was ready long before.
I didn't realize he was that heavy. I thought he was, to come down to 189. I mean, that's 16 pounds off.
Yeah, and that's my glutes were starting to get striated and everything, and that's what we were wondering, like, okay, if you were conditioned at 205 and still conditioned like crazy at 200, where's the rest of that weight gonna come off from? You know what I mean? And it's just like I don't know, but we just basically played it by ear. Funny thing is that like even when I got down to 192, down to like close to 192, like we thought that's where I would look very stringy, very flat. But I actually didn't look that stringy and that flat at 192.
Your muscles too full and round to look stringy, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Probably, yeah. But we still couldn't have gone on stage like that. We needed to go get up to 197. I feel like 197 is my magic number because, like I told you before, when I was a bodybuilder back in 2012, I won my first overall win as a light heavyweight, and the light heavyweight cutoff was 197. Yeah. So I feel like now, and I feel like my body is like perfect for a light heavyweight division. So that 197 is my magic number.
So are you shutting it down now until the Olympia? No more no more classic shows. Sorry, 212. I'm obsessed with 212. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm shutting it down for the Olympia. I mean, because it doesn't really. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to do any more shows. I mean, we got the Arnold. Now let's focus on the Olympia. That's what we want. We want that title.
Didn't fancy any more wins? Just rack up a few more trophies, a bit more prize money.
No. When he wins the Arnold,
why not though? Why not? Yeah, but then you're on a riding wave. Then I mean, he's not going to come in out of condition, is he?
The prize money is not. It's better to focus and go for Olympia, because the prize money is a little bit.
Well, it's a new class. It'll raise eventually.
And now, like it's kind of now it actually is. It's mandatory where guys are going to have to start to do multiple shows because now they changed it right where a win doesn't guarantee you a spot at the Olympia no more. Right now, it's all about points now, ain't it? That they changed it up like that, right? You guys hear that?
Yeah. Because the Arnold Classic is an open. It's not an invitational, is it?
Yeah, even let's say I was already qualified for the Olympia because of the top 3 last year. But let's say even if somebody else would have won this Arnold, that I don't think that would have guaranteed them a spot at the Olympia. I think they would just got points. That's what I believe. Yeah.
Oh really? Well, I think he definitely qualified for the Olympia this year. Definitely. I think I've got a good feeling.
No, I don't think the idea of switching to 212 and front and back is so smart because Classic is a new class. Yes. And we need some we need some rivalries like we have in the Open. And if people are jumping and Danny Hester, he didn't stop though. He didn't, but there wasn't really because he dropped from first to what was it? Fifth.
Yeah.
So it's Breon and Bumstead the last 2 years with the. But I think we need rivalries, and if people jump from class to class,
that's a good point.
People won't take the class so serious, if all the good guys jump. So it's better to stay there and fight for the title. Don't you agree?
I agree with you 100%, and my heart is with Classic right now. You know, it's a growing division, and it feels like me, Breon, Chris, it feels like, and also Raj too, and Hester. I mean, he's the first Mr. Olympia.
Yes.
I feel like we're I guess you could say kind of like the pioneers of this division because we're the first top guys. In this new growing division, you know what I mean?
Like Flex and Jose were in the 212. They were the pioneers of that class.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it just feels like an honor to be part of that, and I want to stick with that. I feel like I have unfinished business. I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, and I told Justin that too. So let's focus. I mean, we still got more to do here in Classic, and like you said, it's great to have that rivalry going. It's gonna, if I have to leave and go to 212, that's going to take away that potentially great rivalry that could be iconic. So let's make it happen. Let's make it.
Are you surprised? Because I was at I was covering the 2017 Olympia for MD, and I was shocked at how much hype and how much interest and excitement was around the Classic. Because Classic in the UK has been around since 2006 in the amateurs. And
really?
Also, it used to be in the Arnold Classic Amateur as well, but then it hit America 2015, was it? 2015 or 2016?
Yeah, 2015 was... actually, no, 2016 it hit America.
Danny Hester, and there was Darren Charles was second. But were you surprised? Because I certainly was at how fast it grew.
It's improved a lot since those days.
Yeah. They tweaked it. They've added body weight. They've changed the trunks and,
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I was definitely surprised at how popular the division got. When I first saw it, in 2016. I had no idea that it was going to grow to the popularity that it has grown. You know, one of the key things about it that I'm seeing that shows that it has such a bright future is that all the young kids are going to Classic. I can't even remember the last time I talked to like a kid in his late teens, whatever, who told me he's doing his first show and he's going in as a bodybuilder. They're all telling me that they're starting off with Classic.
Why do you think that is?
I think they just like the look of it better. You know, I think they all the physiques in Classic, they're all appealing looking. They're all athletic looking. Yeah. They're all different. You know, they're different. Like I'm different from Breon. Breon's different from Bumstead, and so on. But but we all have that athletic look. You know what I mean? So I think that's what's appealing to the young kids. You know. So yeah, and we all know the young kids is the future of anything. So that shows you that Classic has a bright future. You know.
Chicks love it too.
Yeah, well, the chicks love it.
well, my last show was in 2013, and that was a Classic. And I got myself a nice.
Do you feel are girls treating you different now that you're the Arnold Classic champ?
Oh man, I feel like I got a facelift, man.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I'm so handsome now, you know.
Hey, there's George. It's
like Mike Jones had it. If you remember Mike. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So now so you got a lot more interest now, huh?
Yeah. But did I lose you guys?
No.
Oh, there we go.
No. Sorry, we're hearing you. No, the Classic is very popular. Very popular division.
Yeah. So do you see only really Chris and Breon as your main competition, or is there other guys you kind of got your eye on? Do you want to tell us now? Oh, it's all right. We've just lost George for 1 second. We'll get him back. This happens sometimes. There we go. Yes. I thought you'd run off to IHOP. You'd be that stuck in eating some more pancakes.
No. Do you have anything? What can we see now? Because now you're shutting it down before the Olympia. What's the plan with you now? Will there be any? Are you releasing your own YouTube channel? First of all, do you have your own YouTube channel?
Well, yeah, I have a YouTube channel. I've been, slacking on it. I haven't even put anything on it, but yeah, I'm gonna start getting some stuff, some content on it. It's George Peterson is the name of my YouTube channel. Yeah. I have a guest posing in May at the Long Island Championships lined up.
Okay.
And I have some. I'm just got some different things coming along. I have a friend who takes care of a lot of the business stuff for me. So we're just getting a lot of things together. I'm gonna start putting together some merchandise, like some T-shirts with my logo on it. Putting that out there. Just a whole bunch of different things. I got contacted by a guy in India who runs a muscle camp out there and asked me if I'm interested in actually going out there for that. So we see how that goes, and just a bunch of different things in the works. So so it's rolling. Things are rolling.
What's your clothing line's name?
Say that again.
What's your clothing line's name?
Well, I haven't actually given it a name, but I was gonna basically, I don't know, maybe call it something. I'm still trying to think of what name, a cool name for the actual merchandise, but maybe I don't know, the bull merch. I don't know.
Fans of George need to go on his Instagram and give him some good names.
Good ideas, yep.
Yeah, help me out, guys. Shoot me some names, guys. Shoot them to me.
Okay, George, did you watch any of the rest of the Arnold Classic?
Yeah.
I watched the Open.
What do you think?
What do you think about that one?
I thought Brandon Curry definitely deserved that win. I thought he was top notch. I think it was like the best version of Brandon that I've seen. It was a close fought battle between him and Bonac, because both Bonac always comes in on. I don't think I ever see Bonac off. So I mean it kind of, because Bonac is shorter, and because of that, Brandon he has that that tight waist, that taper. So that I know that helps them, but I feel like that Brandon definitely deserved that win. And I was proud of Luke Sandoe, a fellow Redcon One
Redcon
teammate. I thought he looked great when I saw him come out. Because I actually was sitting in the stands when during the prejudging when Luke came out. I was very impressed with how he looked. So I'm proud of him. I remember I was hearing you, Giles, saying that his goal. I think you said his goal was to be top 6 and him to get third.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal,
George, I interviewed him at the Meet the Athletes, and he said, I said, so what's the goal then? And he says, top 6. And I kind of pat him on the shoulders, and I go, well, as long as you look good, that's the main thing. So I was thinking, even if he nails it, I was thinking, top 6 is a stretch. But then he walked out, and I messaged him after judging. I said, Luke, you've got third, mate. You've got third.
Yeah,
so right. It's fantastic.
That's a major accomplishment, you know what I mean? Absolutely,
Times are changing in the IFBB now.
Yes.
A lot of fresh faces,
New talent.
Yep.
So, and also, because we've actually got Brandon Curry as a little follow-up update on this episode. How do you think he could do at the Olympia this year, given the improvements and the big win he's just had?
I mean, look, I think I'm not gonna lie. I think he could win it.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're having him, Sean Roden is the current Mr. Olympia, so basically we're saying we're saying that how would Brandon Curry stack up against Sean Roden? I feel like Brandon can potentially beat Sean. If Brandon is is on completely, why not? Yeah, I think he could win it.
What about a shredded Rolly?
Shredded Rolly, then that's gonna be tough.
That's your top 3. There's your top 3, isn't it?
That'll be tough. A shredded Rolly, yeah, that's gonna be tough because Rolly is just like a monster. If Rolly nails it, then I don't know. Like, what you want me to give like a top?
Why not? Why not?
And have we given up the thought about Big Ramy coming in perfect? You're not.
I don't see him top 3.
Even if he's coming in perfect?
No. Sorry.
Well, Rolly got third last year, right? In the Olympics?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So you don't think he'll be third again? Or top 3 again?
Sorry, Rolly.
No.
He's saying Ramy. I'm saying Rolly.
I said
Ramy.
I said I said like Giles is. Each time I ask if Ramy comes in perfect, don't you think that's also he can win it?
4th place best.
I think, I agree with Giles, actually.
Yeah! I agree with Giles. I love it when people agree with me. Okay, let's talk about, now obviously, you're shutting it down to the Arnold. So what kind of things do you do in your spare time? Because you don't really know that much about you, George.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a simple guy, man. Like, if I do have any spare time, because, I feel like I'm always on the move, because I do have a regular full-time job, and I work for a cable company. I do over the phone, tech support for them, and I've been with them for it's gonna be 10 years, I think, next week. I've been with that company, and they're very supportive of of the whole bodybuilding lifestyle, and they were just like super ecstatic for me when I came back to work after the Arnold and everything. So so when I do have spare time between work, gym, and everything else that I have to do. I'm somewhat of a movie buff. I like to watch movies.
Have you seen Captain Marvel? Have you seen Captain Marvel yet?
I have not seen Captain Marvel. I gotta see it.
Your top 2 movies are your top 3 movies.
Raging the Bull.
What's your top 3 movies list?
Hey, all right, here we go. 1989 Batman with Tim Burton and Michael Keaton.
Not bad.
All right, that's one. I'm gonna put Goodfellas in there.
I knew he was going to say something gangster. I think it's because he's from New York.
I was expecting Scarface. Yes.
I can't believe you actually completely overlooked my joke. I said Raging the Bull.
Okay. Now I got it.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And number 3.
And the third one, I'm gonna go with the original. I'm gonna go with the original Bad Boys with Will Smith and Martin Lawrence.
Oh.
Are they making a new one?
They are. They come out with a third one. I hope. Look, I hope they go back to the original formula, because I did not like part 2 at all. Like, part 2 was just so over the top. They were like, they were like treating them as if they were military rather than like cops. You know what I mean? Like, part one was perfect. You believe them as cops. Yeah. I want them to go back to that formula. You know what I mean?
So what part of New York do you live in then?
I'm from Queens.
Oh, Queens.
Queens, New York. Yeah.
Oh,
I've
so-
actually, I just live right around the corner from where 50 Cent used to live.
Sorry,
Do you know who
Sorry, who's 50
50
Cent?
Cent's my favorite rapper. Do
50
you know? Have you met him?
I've never heard of him.
Have you met him?
Say that again.
Have you met him?
I mean, I've like back in the day, like when I was younger, because he's older than me, but I would see him in the neighborhood, so from time to time. I never really, we didn't roll in the same, crews and everything, but I would see him from time to time, but it was awesome to see how he just blew up the way he did, because it's like he represents the neighborhood, so it's almost like when one person blows up from around here, it feels like we all do,
But is it true in his lyrics that he used to be like that, or is it a little bit fabricated since you knew him a little bit?
No, it definitely is all true. It definitely, used to be like that. I mean, it used to be rough around here back in those days, Now it's settled down. Now, like the neighborhood is more diverse, and it's mellow now. It's you could almost call this neighborhood, kind of like a suburb almost, because it's so mellow. But back in the day, it used to be, rough things used to happen and stuff like that.
So how did you, living in those area, how did you get a great job and become a Arnold Classic? How did you steer away from negativity and turn into a success? How did you do that? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much would have to give it to my upbringing, from my family. I was brought up, by a good family, and they just raised me to not try to live any of that type of lifestyle. Even when I was going through high school, at my times in high school, that was the time when gang activity was at its height. All the young kids wanted to be a gang member, but and I would have friends that was involved in that, but I was not that kind of person. So it was a little weird, because it was like, I'm one of them, but I'm also not one of them at the same time. I'm one of them because we're friends and we grow up in the same neighborhood, but I'm not one of them because I'm not living the way they are. And thankfully, none of them tried to get me to go in that route. So they respected that I look, you can do what you do. I'm doing over here. We coexist where we do, but I'm over here with that, and you're over there with that. And they respected that, and I just because of the way my family raised me, I was never interested in getting into that lifestyle. I've actually always seen myself as, whenever I do something, I see myself wanting to be the best at it. So when I graduated high school and then I went to college and I started studying computer engineering, I imagined myself working for a big company like Microsoft or Amazon or Apple. I always see myself trying to do things at its highest, and I carry that over into bodybuilding. When I get into now that I'm into bodybuilding, I want to go straight to the top, and I'm happy that my family raised me the way they did, so I didn't get involved in any of that stuff,
That's important for him, because it's very important. Because kids when we were kids, we did everything that the bodybuilders did, So
right.
It's very important for you to tell that story, because you are a role model, So kids look up to you now, So
Yes,
so with the schooling, there are some bodybuilders with high education, but there's what can you say? It's you are one of them who has a great education. You really have to teach kids this, because if you say it's cool, they'll get that in your YouTube videos, because it's important to, what can I say, be a role model for the kids, and you are a role model, definitely,
Well, I appreciate that. I'm definitely going to be putting that message out there and everything, because one of the things that my mother would always stress to me is she would say, George, be a leader. Don't be a follower. Basically meaning, if I was a follower, then I would have went ahead and joined the gang like the guys who I knew would have, But I was leading my own parade, and I didn't want any part of that. And for any kids out there who's listening right now, I say the same thing to you: be a leader and not a follower. Be who you are. If you do not want to be involved in any kind of lifestyle like that, then lead by example. And maybe you can, by you leading by example and not being involved in that lifestyle, maybe you can help take somebody out of that lifestyle because they see that you have the courage and the strength to not want to go down that path, and they'll follow you down the right path. So that's my advice to any young kids out there listening.
Brilliant. Okay, George, have you got any final thank yous or thank yous?
Yeah. All right. Well, definitely. I want to, huge thank you to you guys, having me on Global Muscle.
Pleasure. Thank you.
I definitely appreciate that. Shout out to and thank you to my Redcon One family. Love you guys. You guys have been great, and I appreciate it. And I look forward to doing some more bigger and better things with you guys. And major shout out to my family, my mother, Christine Peterson, my sister, Renee Peterson, my nephews, Dwayne, Ronnie, and my niece, Kiara, Chufe. And of course, cannot thank enough my coach, Justin Miller. Justin, you're the man. I always tell you, it's funny, we just talked about 50 Cent. I feel like I said this before.
What?
Oh, he's slowing down.
This is my Eminem.
Can you
shot and 50 ran with the ball? Justin did the same thing to me.
George, we lost you. Can we do that again? It broke up.
Yeah, it just broke up.
Go back to Justin Miller.
I think we're gonna lose him.
Okay. All right. So major shout out to Justin Miller, my coach. It's funny. We were just talking about Eminem. I'm sorry, we were just talking about 50 Cent.
Yeah.
I feel like Justin is my Eminem because just like how Eminem, got 50, he gave 50 a shot, and that's what Justin did for me. Justin, he helped bring me into the game, and and I ran with the ball. So me and Justin are like the new Eminem and 50 Cent of bodybuilding.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being on. This was nice getting to know your personality. You're with Redcon, Arnold Classic Champ, MD cover boy.
It's the cover man.
You're gonna make some epic YouTube for us, some YouTube series.
I think AJ wants to be your manager.
You're gonna motivate the kids, show them that you're a leader. And we're really looking forward to the Mr. Olympia to see you versus Brion mano a mano.
Oh yeah, let's get it. It's gonna be good. Can't wait to see you guys out there.
Yeah.
All right, George, we're going to let you go then. Really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time. And well done again on a fantastic
Congratulations,
achievement at the Arnold Classic.
My pleasure. Thank you, guys. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Thank you, George. Bye-bye, mate. Bye-bye.
All right.
Yeah.
I put on my glasses now. I always do that when the glasses are off. Wow. Great guy.
You like him?
Great guy. Don't you?
Yeah, I love him. Yeah, we had a good chat backstage. I put a little video in the latest episode 38 of Muscle News Weekly, which actually went up. It would have by the time this gone, it went up yesterday, and I got a little clip of me backstage with George. So check that out.
No disrespect. We can't because we talk to him like he's always the Brion is the champ though, so we have to give him also the respect. And Bumstead is
yeah, he's
second place. So we have
place,
those
2
two
years running. Yeah, that's the top 3 in the world.
So that's the top 3. Also, my guy like Henry Pierre Arnaud. I still gotta have him in my first call out.
He's fantastic.
No, but George is a great guy, and also I like the way he's done everything. He can have a full-time job.
Yes, I'm glad we mentioned that because it was something I don't think we really alluded to, and I was thinking I didn't want to ask him just in case he didn't, but then he, so that's
highly educated, full-time job. Not in no bad past like some other people do.
Yeah.
Like a real role model, and he's
not a G like me.
You had your wild stuff. Okay, let's go on that for another.
Yeah.
No, but George is a really good guy, and I also people should stop this. Oh, he's not. He's the clear winner. You were there. Did you have him as the clear winner?
Oh, clear winner.
Not even. No. It was.
Steve Loris was fantastic, but I just didn't see anybody else touching him. I mean, I felt like that 6 weeks before the show because I just thought he's got his muscle, his condition, his shape. It's too good. And whether you think Steve Loris is more classic, it doesn't matter because it's judged like a bodybuilding show. So he might not be as classic as a lot of the purists maybe feel. But
is Chris smoking that? What are you smoking there, Chris? Okay. Yeah.
Okay, let's have some.
Hey, role models. Hello. We're talking about. No, when you were alive, it wasn't even a contest, was it?
No. Like I said, there's one pose. George only got one weakish pose. It's the side chest.
Oh, he didn't like that when you said that. By the way,
I don't care. Which I feel like Which I felt like Laureus kind of took him on. That's one pose. Every other pose, obviously the back shots, he annihilates everyone. Front lat spread, front side tricep was very good. yeah, that was it. So ab and thigh, you know, he's got really bumpy abs. He's got a fantastic physique. So yeah, so and he made a real fan out of me at last year's Olympia. Because the Olympia before, I was, he's not really classic. But then 2018, I was like, oh shit, this guy's really good. He's so conditioned, so complete. You know, he's and you know me, I love condition, I love detail, and he had all of those.
So that was this for episode
11.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So yeah, we've actually got 15 minutes till the next guest comes on. So we better wrap this up very quickly.
Some shout outs.
Shout out. I'd like to give a shout out to Scott McNally and Vijay, who gave me a very kind shout out, and yourself, and for Globe Muscle Radio on Bodybuilding Nerds Radio. They gave me George White sent me the link. I listened to it, and it was very kind. So big shout out to you guys, and keep up the good work, because the more good bodybuilding media outlets, the better. Your shout out.
Well, I'm kind of disappointed actually, Chris.
Why?
Because Giles promised me he's going to give me some autographs from the guys. Because I almost, you know, when I couldn't go to Arnold Classic, I almost ended my own life. You remember I couldn't get in and I was depressed and I started, I don't want to say what I started, but where's the magazine autographs? Where are all the
magazine? I don't get autographs. I'm too busy doing selfies.
Oh, come on, no magazines.
Well, I've got
nothing.
I had a chat with a few of the athletes, and I said, "Can you get me some of your clothing, caps, whatever? Sign them."
Where are those?
They're on their way.
Oh, okay.
They're sending them, and we're going to give them away maybe every other episode, depending on how many we can get. But I've got 2 athletes who've promised, and they said they're going to, or they already said them.
I'm going to give my own shout out to George because he impressed me.
Yeah.
And
you're giving a shout out to the athlete we've just interviewed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Henry Pierre Arnold.
Oh, fantastic.
Because that's my guy.
4th place Olympia last year.
And the guy on Instagram sending us those boxer shorts all the time. What's wrong? You know the guy always tagging us with the he posts.
Oh, that guy. So I thought you meant the other guy.
Oh, the tranny.
No, the guy who sent you a picture, and it was a sex. It looked like it was someone in suspenders with nice legs. So AJ liked it, and then he realized it was a picture of a guy.
That was me.
No, it was a Thai woman. I thought it was pretty hot on Instagram. I just press like. I don't really watch all the time, you know. And then we start texting, and after a couple of texts, I realized it was a dude. Well, episode 11.
Episode 11, yes. Post Arnold Classic. So we've got we've had the Classic Champ on, and we've got in 15 minutes.
No. This is.
Okay, we've got another.
This is episode 11. It's finished now.
We've got another possible champ on. Oh. Okay, right. Okay, well, we better wrap it up there. So, thank you, AJ. Big thank you there to George Peterson.
High Tech.
Big thank you to our wonderful sponsors, sponsoring us right up until the Olympia and hopefully beyond. High Tech Pharmaceuticals. Big thank you. I actually met the owner, Jared. I met him at the Arnold Classic. I saw some of the people with their High Tech tops on, and I went over and introduced myself, thanked them for their kind support. And I said, is Jared here? Because he's the owner of...
Shout out to that suit, by the way.
Oof. No, we'll talk about this in the...
Stop it. Yeah, because that's why I try to end it. Because
sometimes we record things in not in the correct order for filming schedule. Stop shaking your head. So it doesn't matter. All pieces together beautifully. That's all that counts.
George, great guy.
George, great guy. Okay, we'll see you very soon for the next guest on episode 11 of Global Muscle Radio. And welcome back to episode 11 of MD Globe Muscle Radio, the first episode since the Arnold Classic. And who do we have on, AJ?
The Arnold Classic winner, Brandy.
Yes! Keep it going, yes! Brandon, what do we say, man? I mean, what did we say? What did I say in my MD column? Dark horse pick. Over to you.
Yeah.
He's so chilled.
You got it right, man. You got it right.
Oh, honestly, man, I've had a really good run of predictions, and honestly, I was very nervous. I was like, oh, please turn up looking amazing and win, and it's exactly what you did. So thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to disappoint you guys.
It was glorious, man.
Yeah, and Brandy made me cry as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know when you were on stage and you won, she came to the front and I thought, this is her big moment with her husband and there's the kids there. And she walked to the front of the stage and she said, Brandon is so proud of you guys. And I went, I've got to go, there's something in my eye. I've got to go. It was such a lovely moment. It was just because I filmed it all with, because it was the first time your kids have seen you compete, right?
Right, exactly. Besides being babies, of course.
Yes, of course. Yeah. So how'd you feel, mate?
Hey, man, it was an incredible moment. I think I've taken it all in by now, hopefully. But yeah, it's just an amazing moment, man. I couldn't have been more perfect for me, to be honest.
So I saw a post that Abdullah, your coach, put up, and he was saying about because he put comparing photos from the Olympia to the Arnold Classic, and everyone was saying, "Oh, he's so much better and so much bigger than he was from the Olympia." And Abdullah said you were 10 pounds lighter.
Yeah, we estimated we were about 10 pounds lighter, give or take a couple of pounds. But yeah, somewhere around there. We planned to come in lighter, sharper. That was the whole plan. It was conditioning over everything. So we just used the scale as a monitor to kind of see, how things were moving. But we didn't use it as a guide to come in at a certain weight.
You were so much fuller. I mean, your midsection was. I think your midsection really gave you an edge over William Bonac, who was, just the flatness and the kind of tightness and everything. It really made your taper stand out so much more. And I think it's one of the reasons that pulled you into the win.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what we knew about the strategy coming in. The midsection would definitely have to be tight. I had to be tighter from the back and improve from the back as well.
You were. And
take the win. So I mean that was well calculated ahead of time, and we were able to execute on those points.
Yeah, I think as I saw in those pictures that Abdullah sent me 4 weeks out, I think when especially at the night show, it was really evident how much improvements you've made in detail and kind of development in your glutes, your hamstrings, and your back was definitely a lot harder than Olympia. So I think you're definitely making those strides now. So yeah, so you must be feeling good about that.
Yeah, we're definitely feeling good about that. We made some, we made some guesses and made some decisions, and we went with it, and it definitely paid off. And we're looking forward to the next one. What we got to do to improve to, hopefully seal that title in September. So,
do you think you can win the Olympia? Because a lot of people now you weren't really kind of someone that people were saying, oh, could win the Olympia. You're someone that people said, oh, we can make top 6, top 5. Now it's like a lot of people are saying, shit, Brandon could win the Olympia.
Well, I've always thought I could win the Olympia, to be honest. But now it just seems like it's just right in reach. So definitely we're going to the rest of the season with that expectation of capitalizing on the momentum, but also doing our best to bring in a Olympia winning package.
Is it nice being back home?
It's wonderful being back home, man. Getting some good rest, getting some good food, enjoying the kids, and my dog and everything, and cats. So it's good.
Everything went as planned, Giles.
It did.
Everything went just the way we planned it, Brandon. Huh?
Exactly, man. Exactly. Just the way we planned it, man. The only thing I missed was AJ after I got off stage. That's the only thing I missed.
Man, I was
like, "Where's AJ, man?" Oh, AJ.
First thing he said when he saw me, not like, "Hey Giles, how are you?" It's like, "Where's AJ? I want to see AJ. Go away."
I was sending him like Soldier Boy pictures with money on his DM. Remember I told you this song? I was like, "This we got." It was on the MD forums. I was like, "Oh, he got it." Like try to control because when you put it out there, people start,
Was it believe it into existence? Speak it into existence.
But it was close with Bonac. We don't want to take anything away from Bonac. It wasn't like a blow. It was close.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But I was like, no, Curry's got this. It's not even a discussion. The only thing that was disappointing, Brandon, was that I couldn't hear your music on the YouTube channel. They didn't play your music.
They changed the music.
They changed the music.
Wow.
So nobody saw you guys' routines. We saw your routines, but not to the music. It was disgusting to see.
And then they had people voiceover doing commentary.
So there was some German rock music going on while you were standing there posing, man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's kind of sad.
Well, they did mess it up anyway because they I wanted my music on stage, and they started it off stage. So I spent the whole time trying to find my main points in the routine.
Are you trying to catch up? Trying to catch up.
Yeah.
It was smart of you not doing the Arnold Australia now.
Oh yeah. We never really planned to. That wasn't even a part of my thinking. I just wanted to get this show in, hopefully take the home to win, and then get home and rest up and enjoy some time off. So.
Well, you've kind of got the set now, haven't you? You've got the full set of Arnold Classic titles.
Yeah, I got all of them. With the Pro League, I got Brazil,
ones?
Australia, and now the Arnold Classic Ohio.
The big one.
I got every single one of them. That's a Pro League Arnold show right now.
And I'm also happy that Abdullah, who's all the way in Kuwait, under 35 years old.
Yeah,
it's great to see is that the whole team and like that he also gets some recognition, isn't it?
Yeah, man. He works. He works hard. Young guy, smart guy, loves bodybuilding. Very passionate about it. And he's like one of my number one supporters outside of my wife. He's believed in me for a while. Thought I could be a champion, and to see the fruits of his labor, to see him be right, and in the face of so many people that thought he was not necessarily thinking best or not necessarily accurate on his assumptions.
Okay, now thank you. Welcome back to Brandon Covey. Lost him there due to connection issues, but he's moved location now. So glad to have you back, Brandon. So thanks for sorting that, mate.
I'll try.
It's better you want to go back to Kuwait? It's better connection over there rather than Tennessee.
Yeah, I know, man. I know what's going on.
That's true.
Better connection on the Wi-Fi router than.
So what's the plan now? It's just to relax, is an off season, and then get ready to win the Olympia.
Yeah, I'm more relaxing, and of course you got the travel season, appearances and whatnot, and then by the summertime we'll be cranking it down, getting ready for the Olympia. The goal now is just don't get fat.
Yeah. So do you put much on now between now? Or are you the kind of guy who gets bigger or smaller after a show?
Right now, I had a shoot actually with MD yesterday. Mm-hmm. So I stay in range right now. I haven't really necessarily gained a bunch of excess weight, so I'm trying to stay that way.
Oh, was that with Hector?
Yeah, that was with Hector. Yeah.
How'd it go?
Everything went good, man. It was good. I was in my home gym and it was comfortable. It wasn't too long, so I was happy.
Oh, nice one. So when do you go back out to Kuwait then?
Sometime in the summertime we'll map it out. I actually visit there I think I'll go there for the Kuwait Classic, the Kuwait show in April. Pay some visits before we head to Pittsburgh to do the guest posing at the Pittsburgh. So I'll make a pit stop there for a week and a half or so, do some training, catch up with some guys, hang out at the event, and then we'll come back home after that, and we'll map it out. But we'll get out there with enough time to get some preparation done. Good. And come in tight. So I'm not really concerned about it.
Good. Have you had a good reception since you've been home, coming home as the champ?
Oh yeah, man. I come into the gym, just to avoid letting all this food just sit on me. So I go in the gym and everybody's excited, everybody's happy, and glad I'm supporting the area well, and taking the pictures and everything. So it's real cool, man. It's real cool to be back in the gym, seeing some of the people I haven't seen in a while, and everybody being really supportive. So it's been great.
Also, this is your first time winning some proper cash, isn't it? Have you bought anything? Cool.
No. I haven't bought anything yet. Still waiting on that check, I guess, to come through. But
okay.
It'll be through here soon. So
I think Arnold's good for it.
Yeah, of course. I'm sure he's good for it. But I'm not really looking to spend a lot of money. I got a house, got to pay off and all that kind of stuff. So got to be responsible.
So are you
school tuitions and stuff like that?
Yeah, he's got 4 kids. He's got four kids. That's not cheap. It's not cheap.
I'm just excited for the Mr. Olympia now, because now everybody sees it now. Huh? Before we try to speak it into, but like now it's a fact, So it's
man. It's like the scales. It's like the scales have been moved off everybody's eyes. And
I know.
I'm looking over people talking Olympia talk. I'm like, you talking Olympia talk? it's quite interesting, to see the narrative change a little bit.
But I'm surprised that you took 5th at the Olympia, and obviously when Phil Heath is also out, so that means it's 4 people left. And when he goes to Kuwait and he's ready, he's hungry. Why is it such a surprise? Like, why? I don't know. People should know this. This is not a shock. Shouldn't be like it's.
Well, don't forget he's taken out Rowley and William now, convincingly.
Yeah, but Rowley was. Oh,
I know. Yeah. I can see Rowley, Brandon, and Sean being the final 3.
Did you ask Rowley what? But did he had food poisoning or something? Wasn't it something like that? He said.
Well, that was before they left. Before they left, actually, the guest posing event. That's when he got food poisoning, apparently. So he was sick coming back to Kuwait. He was still on the toilet all day and whatnot. So
has Badr talked to you about getting the title back to Kuwait now, the Sandoe title?
Oh yeah, he's real supportive with that, man. He's definitely supportive. He wants he wants that by any means necessary, I think.
Yeah.
Pressure's on now.
And now, well, it looks good, huh?
Yeah. Is sorry, I did ask before. Is Brandy there? Because I wanted to come on and say hi. Is she there?
Yeah, she's here. She's here. She's actually.
Come and say hi, Brandy. Come on.
The best work. You want to peek over here?
Behind every great man.
That's a great woman.
Yeah. Hey, Brandy.
Hi.
Folding laundry.
Oh no.
Well, it's nice seeing you. I used to see you in the swimsuit edition when I was a little bit younger. So it's nice.
Now I'm just doing laundry.
No, you're doing a lot more than that. You've been a great support for Brandon. We've seen you on Insta. You're doing everything while he's gone. So you're doing more than laundry. That's for sure.
I have to. When we were 17, I told him, so funny. I never saw his body before one day, and he did a backflip off of a chair, and his shirt lifted up, and I saw all this muscle, and I said, "You should be a bodybuilder when we grow up." And he looked at me. He's like, "Oh no, I'll never get on stage in a Speedo." I was like, "Well, okay." I didn't know anything about bodybuilding, so I just kind of said, "Okay." And then, like a year or 2 later, he called. He said, "You'd never believe what I just did." I said, "What?" He said, "I did a bodybuilding show." And I won.
You won. Oh, fantastic.
So I look at it, it's like, I mean, it'd just be wrong to go against what I said 19 years ago. It was a long time ago, but it's still like, I can't go against that. And I support him. And, I'm a pro athlete and my kids are athletes. It's just, and everyone on both sides of my family, professional athletes, from professional golfers, baseball players, whatever, you name it, powerlifters, Olympic athletes. And I just look at it as me doing my part because I believe in him. Now, if I didn't think he was capable, no. But I know my husband well enough to know that him going away is what he needs individually as an athlete. And I'm one of those as well. Like, I wholeheartedly believe in the fruits of putting all your focus into something, and he can't do it here. He can't do it here. And I had to pull away from doing a lot of other things that I was doing to be able to focus as the only parent here. So I think we're kind of both doing the same thing. He had to go be an athlete. I had to stop being one and be a mom. So it's fun.
Team effort.
It's fun.
Yeah. Has something changed in Brandon since he won? Do you see something as something? Is there change in him since he won? Do you notice anything different?
Is he getting cocky or?
No, but is he hungrier or like?
He's the same guy he was when we were 17.
Oh.
Physically, his head has grown.
Well, he's got this.
That's about it. No, confidence-wise,
I'm always cocky.
Whatever. Confidence-wise, I think I've seen reassurance in him. It's like a peace. Like, okay, it's. How could I put it? It's when you're a step closer to doing something that you always kind of saw yourself being able to do, and you're just ready. I don't know how to explain it, but
what was it like those years? Because I mean, I know Brandon did 8th place at Olympia in 2011, and everyone was like, "Wow, this guy's really moving up." And then until really 2017, so there was like a 5-year gap where it was like what was expected kind of wasn't happening, and then obviously in the last 2 years, his career has exploded, and it's just been an absolute crazy rise now. So what was that like? Did you as his partner for those few years where you just thought, is this really, wasn't really working out the way you planned?
Frustrating. It was frustrating, because I'm so competitive myself, and I always knew what he was capable of, and there were times where I felt like he felt, okay, maybe he wanted to be a bodybuilder, but okay, providing for kids, kept having kids, and I was contributing to a household as well. So it was just kind of, I think as a man, it's more frustrating because he wants, a man wants to provide for their family the way, in a way that they're passionate for. So I know bodybuilding was the way he wanted to do it, and it wasn't paying off at the time. And I could see that in him. And there'd be times when I'd get hard on him, like, stop, just focus on being a bodybuilder. Stop trying to do or be anything else right now. You're not a multitasker. I am. You're Brandy. You're
focus on the one thing. Focus on the one thing.
It's just stop.
So, yeah. So do you mind the fact that he spent all his winnings on a new Ferrari?
That would not be allowed.
He just messaged me an hour ago. He says, "Please don't tell Brandy, but I've just bought a $130,000 Ferrari. So I'm sure she's gonna love it."
My sons would. They go live in a Ferrari together.
Yeah.
When will we see?
You gotta make me buy a car.
I do. He's been wanting a truck for a long time, a pickup truck, and I'm always kind of like window shopping with him out of town. I call him, I saw this truck. Honey, what kind of color? What company do you like the best? And he, literally, was it the day we were driving home? I looked at him, I was like, honey, can we go get you a truck now?
I think you've earned one.
He was like, no, not yet. And I'm like, you deserve a truck, honey. Come on, get a truck. You can drive me around it, in it. But no, he just. We do have, everything is, not everything is promised, as far as your plans going exactly how you want them to go. But I can say that over the past few years, a lot of things have been calculated in a sense, including the financial aspect of things and how we handle things. And we don't live above our means. We have like one credit card, and that's basically to check in and out of hotels. Everything else we own outright. We purchase. We don't. It's so for us, any money and everything, we use it to, if our home can be paid off within the next 12 months, hey, we're above. We don't have any debt. That's the way we want to do things. 2
questions. Will there be more Will there be a more like you on Generation Iron? Will there be more content from you guys in the future?
We had been approached. Yeah.
Will we see something?
That'd be cool.
Yeah, there's so many opportunities. A lot of doors opening between that and, before I even got into the fitness industry, I came from the film and music industry. So I have a lot of contacts and a lot of people that even work in reality TV. And I've had a lot of people, come and talk about certain things. It's a matter of, okay, are these things worth sacrificing? Is the money or even the popularity or whatever would come with it worth sacrificing some of the,
personal privacy.
Yeah, personal privacy.
Yeah, it's a big thing, especially with children.
It would be great to have you Real Housewives of Atlanta or something, and we see you guys.
Real Housewives of Tennessee.
No, but it would be like of Dallas. There's a show called Real Housewives of Dallas or something, isn't it? There you would fit right in.
Oh man, see,
Mainstream success.
I have female friends, but I was always such a tomboy. I get along better with like my guy friends than a lot of females because I'm you know, I guess.
But they don't want you to get along on those shows.
I know that's the problem because if I'm the type I keep it cool and calm and collected, but if I lose it, I lose it. You know, it's like.
But you used to sing, or you used to be an actor, or you used to sing, or you used to be an actor? You said you were in the.
I did both. I worked on a lot of films and television shows, and was in music quite a bit.
Can we get a cappella now?
No.
No, I'm just. You never know.
Brandy can sing.
Brandon, can you sing?
No.
When we were in high
doesn't want
school,
to.
he joined the show choir because I was in the class.
Oh,
It's all coming out now. Look at Brandon.
Brandon, can't you do something for us? Do some Keith Sweat? Sing something.
No. The only singing I do nowadays, maybe in the shower. Maybe.
In the car. You sing in the car.
Do I sing in the car? No, my baby boy sings in the car. He's
Oh. We saw one of your kids were up there. Have you teach him any poses yet, Brandon?
I haven't taught him. Mommy teaches him poses. Not me.
Can we see one pose, or is it maybe?
I'm always looking at all of them going, which one of you is going to be the one? Which one of you is going to be the one? And I'm like, you. I think Marvelous.
Yeah, because they're playing football now, aren't they? And wrestling.
Wrestle, football. They're about to start spring track, like track and field training. And they're fast, but I really want them to do it just to contribute to their other sports. My daughter's a soccer player, a traveling soccer player, so she's gone all the time, traveling, playing.
So, Brandon, obviously, a SciTech, obviously very happy with what you've done there.
Oh,
I was just asking my wife that today. She's been in contact a little bit more than me lately, so.
Yeah, they're thrilled. They're so happy, you know, and it's great because you know they always kind of saw the vision, and we've got a fairly new CEO, and last summer we went to Budapest for a SciTech Muscle Beach event that they have every year.
Yeah,
in Seelfolk, I think that's how you say it. But we got to sit and spend some time, you know, with our new CEO, and I'm one of those. If you sit down and talk with me, whatever your position is, male or female, you know, I'm very open as far as what my vision is. I don't really care if anybody's going to think I'm crazy because my vision is my vision. And if you know me well enough, people will tell you it's I've got a pretty good how would you say it, track record as far as what I can see as far as happening. And I don't see things because I have like some kind of gift like to actually see something. Everything that I predict or think is capable of becoming is very calculated in my mind. That's how I operate. And I look at Brandon and I sort of calculate things. Okay, if you do this, this isn't impossible to do. You better do this, you know. And I critique him. People don't know, even when he got turned pro, it was he and I that did his prep. And I've never had a coach. I've always done my own thing. So it's fun to have told our CEO, you know, what I thought Brandon was capable of doing. And I even told him Brandon could be in the top 5, possibly win an Arnold. And
Have we lost them again?
No, don't tell me because this is a good interview.
Have we lost you there for a second. They lost you there for a second.
He believed me, so it's really, really, really fun to see it all actually happening.
It was fun.
And I know that they're smiling there. They actually held now the time difference, it was like 1, 2, 3 in the morning there in Budapest.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a SciTech gym in Budapest, and they actually hosted a watch party.
Oh, nice.
Watch the show.
Wow.
So they sent me like video of, and they had the entire gym, they had it all set up, rows of chairs,
Beautiful.
food catered, like 2 in the morning. Everybody from SciTech was there. They were so happy.
And how was it when you saw him upstage with Jay Cutler, Phil Heath, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Lee Haney, and Bob Chick, but he's not part of that. How was that to see him with all the legends?
When I saw or them?
When you saw Brandon there up with all them legends, it did fit right in, didn't he?
I felt like he's right where he belongs.
Yeah, nice. Okay, well,
I think you look at all those guys and they're all from completely different eras, and they're all so great, and every era needs one of those guys.
Well, we're gonna back you. Brandon's gonna DM me everything, so we'll promote you forever.
Yeah.
We got 2019. You already have Brandon, but 2020 against Phil Heath. That's where we're gonna, because you're gonna take 2019 guaranteed. But let's see 2020. That's where we're gonna see the war. So we already. Yeah.
AJ's getting a new suit made for it. He's getting a Brandon Curry suit.
So that's
made.
gonna be. We're looking forward to that. No, but good luck 2019 Olympia. And we're going to support you as much as we can and promote whatever you guys have and help as much as we can to people see you more. And the more people see you, the more people will fall in love with you, I think. You're as a family.
The Currys.
That's
the Currys, yeah!
One more, Brandon, one more. Brandon, one more.
Fish and chips yet.
Oh, fish and chips, of course.
Brandon, give me one more shot. That was a little bit.
What?
Yeah. There you go. Thank you.
All right, Brandon.
Okay.
Thank you, Brandy.
Bye-bye.
Really appreciate you taking the time, and we will see you in Las Vegas. There we go.
You see how we're making Oros? He has Roldan already. Come on now, that's not true. But it's going to be great.
First call out.
We got to give respect to Sean Roldan because he's the Mr. Olympia champ.
2016, he was last place. 2017, he was 8th place. 2018, he was 5th place. Now he's just won the Arnold Classic. He has to be going in with no Phil Heath. He has to be going in as one of the solid favorites.
He has to.
He's making improvements.
Making improvements.
That's what it's all about.
And we haven't seen... have we seen anything from... Has Roldan guest post or...
No. I think he's only been back training a few weeks.
Oh. How did you look at the Arnold Classic when you saw him?
He looked great in his suit. He had a suit on the Saturday night. Looked fantastic. Yeah, I complimented him on his suit game.
No, but everybody, for people at home, what a wife he also has.
Oh, she's lovely, Brandy. Yeah, lovely.
Singer, actor, bikini.
She was a pro bikini.
Bikini.
Was she pro before him? I think she might have been.
Raises not alone the kids, but while he's in Kuwait.
Yeah, 4 children.
Talks to the SciTech to get the sponsor thing correct.
They work together as a team with their family, their careers, and it works.
All the kids are becoming athletes too.
Yeah, wrestlers, runners, footballers. Fantastic. I see it all on Instagram, on Brandon Curry's Instagram.
So the Currys is a family we can support, be proud of as the Mr. Olympia.
I would rather watch the Currys reality show than the Kardashians.
Well, Kardashians is pretty... Bruce Jenner turned into a woman.
Don't start about the Kardashians.
They go all out, so it's pretty good. But, yeah. No, great seeing Brandon.
Mm-hmm. Yes, fantastic. So, yes, that's our little update there. A little short update of the Arnold Classic Champion. So, we will be right back with our next guest.
And who's that?
I'm not saying. Because if he stands us up, then we'll have to get creative.
Brandon Curry, man.
Brandon Curry.
We supported him from, obviously.
Yes, we did.
But he did all the work, so. But we were on Team Curry.
Really proud of him, really happy for him. And and check out all my Brandon Curry updates on Must News Weekly, episode 38.
Oh.
And you can see all the behind-the-scenes stuff, and he gives a little shout-out to you as well.
Oh, I'm already hyped.
You're already hyped. So, we'll be right back after the break with our next guest of episode 11 of MD Global Muscle Radio. And we are out. And welcome back to MD Global Muscle Radio with the... Sorry, mate, you're right there. With the absolute shock of the Arnold Classic sensational third place, Luke Sandoe.
No. We gotta.
Yeah, we got to ban
Luke, wow, man.
We're not worthy.
No, but amazing, Luke, huh?
Well, I fucking told you, didn't I?
He's getting all cocky. He's getting all cocky now. He's like,
wow.
I know. I still can't believe it. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you remember when you got the third place and you had your check in your hand and you came to the front of the stage, shook my hand? I actually got a video of it. And you said, Giles, can you just confirm that says 3, that says third on it? Because you couldn't quite take it in.
No, I mean, the goal was top 6, and I would have been just as happy with top 6, and anything was a bonus, but third.
Absolutely amazing.
That's crazy.
Absolutely amazing. So obviously,
yeah.
So you've got the Arnold Australia. Is it tonight you leave or tomorrow?
Tomorrow morning we leave. So and we get there Wednesday. So I've got like the same amount of time to dry out as I did in Ohio. So yeah,
but
plenty of time. So and I thought it'd be better this time to have a bit more time at home, rather than traveling too far back to back. And because Chris knows how to dry me out pretty well now. I did Australia last year under that time frame, and I just thought it'd be a bit better to stay an extra couple of days at home in my own environment than to uproot myself again. So, we'll see how that pans out.
Ben's going with you, isn't he?
Yeah, he's flying out with me. He's I feel quite bad for Ben because I'm flying in business class, and he's an economy.
Oh, he's huge.
And he's a massive guy, and we have like 22 hours of flights.
Oh, shit.
And he's just going to be like crammed into basically in the boot.
This is Ben Chow. This is
the guy with the headband. This new.
This is the psychopath.
He looks fantastic.
This is Luke's training partner, and he's also now been taken on by Redcon as well. Hasn't
he has, which is why he's coming with me.
He has to.
So he's I mean he's a phenomenal bodybuilder in itself. So. I mean, he could have been with Redcon regardless of me. He's got a great look. I don't know if you've ever seen any of his training videos, but he's super strong as well.
Luke, I saw a video about 2 hours ago where he's squatting 5 plates and it looks like nothing. He's rapping away with it.
Yeah, when he squats, it's like the air. It's like the plates just evaporate when he's doing it. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, he gets accused of fake plates all the time, and it's just. But he does the same amount of reps with the same amount of weight in multiple different gyms. He just does it all the time. So yeah, he's now with Redcon, which is cool. So it means he gets to come with me even more places, and I get to travel with him. We get to travel together, for Redcon. So it's pretty cool. So we both get to travel a bit more.
If you remember on the Saturday when I was sat with Sean Ray and you came over and you had this, I think it was kind of sinking in by then. And you said, Giles, I've woke up. I've got 40,000 extra followers on my Instagram.
Oh my God! Yeah, like within like
40,000.
40,000.
Yeah, within like 2. Yeah, it just blew up. I mean, it's just insane.
Just one thing, Giles. Before we talk about Arnold Australia, you have to cherish this moment. Like it doesn't matter what happened in Arnold Australia. Look, this is like, isn't this like epic, bro?
Well, it is, but it's like. I'm not going to lie, I'm a lot more nervous for the next one because I had pressure on myself for Arnold Australia. I kind of knew I was going to be good. I was like, yeah, cool. I know I'm gonna fit right in. It's going to be great. Hopefully I'll get that top 6. At least I'm not going to look like a twat. Now, people are like, yeah, it's between you and Bonak, mate.
Oh, shit.
Potentially. And I'm like, oh, why? What do you mean? And it's like, so I have to replicate that, if not be better, just to prove to everyone that it wasn't a fluke.
No,
but it wasn't a fluke. Everybody saw that.
When did you kind of get the idea? I mean, actually on stage, when you really kind of knew that you weren't just going to make top 6, but you were going to do even better. When did that moment hit?
It was when they called me out with Just Cedric.
Yes.
In the pre-judging, and I was like, hold on, what's going on? Why is that Cedric McMillan, and I'm with just him? Why is this? And I was like, this has got to be a mistake. This isn't right.
Because they brought Brandon out with William, and then they brought you out with Cedric. And I was thinking, I said to Stephen Ron, I said, this is for 3rd and 4th.
Yeah. Which was quite a surprise to a lot of people because Cedric wasn't even in the first call out, which was really, really bizarre. So that's why I was really confused. I was like, do me and Cedric suck, or are we really good? I can't tell. because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I got worked really hard in the prejudging. I think I had more call-outs than anyone. But I didn't die, so we're good.
Yeah.
So, happy days.
I think the moment when I knew that, I think when I was really shocked is when you put that picture of yourself up with a tan. Was that on the Friday morning or the Saturday morning?
Yeah, the Friday morning, I think it was.
Yeah, I was shocked.
I think it was the Friday morning. Yeah, I was shocked. Yeah, because because Chris was just going every time I'd go and see him, you could just see it in his face. And then Ben would start taking some pictures and he'd send me some afterwards. And I think I was about maybe the Thursday evening. I was like, wow. And then Friday morning, I was like, that's not me. That's not me. You shocked for that. And then I just couldn't. And then Thursday night and Saturday morning, I could just see myself transforming.
Wow.
Like, every time I'd like go to take a piss, obviously you have to take your baggy bottoms off, and I'd take a look at my legs, and I'd be like, "What's going on?"
So was that when you really thought, "Shit, everything is really finally after all these shows, it's finally really coming together and bringing what I want to bring."
Yeah, it was. It was like it's hard to describe because I think a lot of people in the past have assumed I cheat on my diet. I must do things because I've never come quite in shape, and I've worked myself way too hard in the past. So to finally have a prep where it was so smooth and I still felt great and I got to enjoy the whole process and see it happen at the end, it was quite emotional actually.
Wow.
I was like, I can't. It wasn't like I was proud of it. It was more like, well done, mate. Well done to myself, and it wasn't the feeling you'd expect.
So what was so different about this prep compared to the ones where you didn't really nail it?
It was really easy.
Oh, really?
It was really, really easy.
In what way?
Because I did barely any cardio. I kept getting fed, and I was able to train insanely hard. In terms of like using fat burners, almost none.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't have to rely on that. It was just Chris just found my little sweet spot and just left me there, and barely changed anything. And I was able to train insanely hard the whole way up to the show, and it showed. And he would use cardio as like a tool every now and then to just pick things up a little bit for a couple of days, see what happens, and then back me off. And it was just amazing.
On that Saturday when we spoke and you said about the followers, it's like you said to me, you said, Giles, I've woken up today. Not only am I third place at the Arnold Classic and I've beaten guys like Rowley and Cedric and Josh Lenato, but I'm now actually a proper professional bodybuilder, meaning that I don't just make a living from what I'm doing, I'm making a really good living from what I'm doing. So what was that like, waking up thinking with that realization? Obviously the prize money is kind of in the back of your head. It's never the driving force. And it didn't even hit me until they said, "Oh, the check for $50,000 in third place." I was like, when they called my name out, I was like, "What?" And that was just like, and that was when it hit me. I was like, I think I've arrived now. I think I'm starting to be where I want to be. Again, it was just incredibly emotional. I can't describe a lot of it because it wasn't, because most people would think you'd just be really happy, but you're almost like overwhelmingly happy that you feel quite sad in a way. But it's just a whole roller coaster of emotions, really. It's just crazy. Your face was priceless when Cedric got called out in fourth and you realised that you were at least third. Yeah. I was just like, you were just like, what the? You were like, that was such a lovely moment.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, I just couldn't. It was just the most surreal moment because it was like, it was almost like I was watching it happen to myself. Because you don't come from a little English town and place really badly at a couple of like quite low end shows. And then you don't often hear of that happening, and then you don't think about, I'm doing the Arnold Classic, which in itself is a huge achievement. And then you end up third. Like, you can't. It's like winning the lottery, except it wasn't by luck.
But
That's how it's the most satisfying thing I could possibly imagine.
The thing is, Luke, I'm not going to mention certain years of Arnold Classics, but this wasn't one of the years when the lineup was weak. This was this was probably, I think, one of the best since 1996 and 2010. Arnold Classics stand out for me, and this one is the best Arnold Classic I think there's been for a number of years. So to play, I mean, that's
I think that's fair. I mean, when you look at the lineup, and the one thing I really liked was so many people said how much they enjoyed the show. It was actually a good show.
Yes,
it wasn't just the Arnold Class so boring. The judging was shit. I haven't really seen anything negative about the show itself, which is another nice thing to hear, because you're always thinking, "Oh, I've got a good place, and now everyone's going to shit all over me on the boards, and everyone's going to start moaning about the show and how it's this and that." Nothing. Well, it was just really good feedback across the board, which is pretty cool.
If you remember, after the judging, I was back up in my room. I was doing all the social media and the forum stuff, and I said, "Luke, I think you've got third, but be prepared for fourth or fifth, because you know what? Some of these shows.
No, I know.
And you were like, "Well, Giles, I want top six. Anything better than that is an absolute bonus, because you know what? Some of these, especially with the lesser known names like yourself, not now. It's like, okay, then everyone would be saying, yeah, Luke deserved third, but he got fifth or sixth.
Yeah, I mean, I was really surprised. I mean, I agree with all the placings, and I don't mean that to sound like cocky. I do agree based on a lot of the pictures. I think they got it pretty much right across the board, and to give someone like me, a relatively unknown,
you're not unknown.
I was compared to the other guys. I wasn't like a shoe-in for that top six like a lot of the guys.
I mean, you've never done the Olympia, It's
no. So it's like if they'd given me sixth, I would have thought, that's politically where a lot of people would have assumed I'd be, whether I was good enough for third or not. And but they placed me correctly, which was a surprise, and it kind of goes to show that the judging isn't as ridiculous as people assume. They rewarded everyone as they should have been, in my opinion. So I think that speaks volumes.
Have you had a good reception since you've been home?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's it been like?
It's just, I mean, it's weird walking into the gym, because I got off the flight and went straight to the gym, and me and Ben walked in, and there was like people sat at the tables, and they all just stood up and just started like clapping.
Oh,
and I was like, this is it's just weird. It's weird.
Yeah,
something out of a film.
Yeah, I think this is really good for British bodybuilding, because we've got Flex Lewis, and we've had many other guys that have done well, but this really gives, I think this is going to give a real boost to British bodybuilding, because we've got so many new pros now, and there's so many other guys. It's going to give people a lot of hope now, not just in UK, but anywhere in Europe.
I think as well, I think what makes me maybe a little bit different than a lot of these like guys like Nathan and Flex is because they were successful straight out the gate.
Yeah.
And I've been just battering this and like for a while now, and getting it wrong and failing like badly, like falling head first onto my face badly. And now, because I persevered and kept going and I didn't stop, now I've been rewarded. I think that in itself for British bodybuilding is like, see, you just got to put a bit of work in.
Like a juggernaut.
Like an unstoppable force. Yeah, exactly.
That's a really good nickname. I think we should go with that, the juggernaut.
I think good work. I like that.
That's going to be hard to pronounce for people in other countries.
No, that is his nickname.
Oh, is it?
it was a joke, guys. Yeah. I was using British sarcasm again.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone ask him?
No, I'm just like, this is not a question interview. We're going to ask so many questions. It's just more like, we're like, wow. I mean, just like,
gotta get him back on.
It's so nice. It's so refreshing. It's so,
Yeah. I just can't believe it. I mean, I think one of the coolest pieces of feedback I got is loads of people like, you just look different. Like you have something different. Like I just have something different about not just because I was in shape. Like my physique just looks different. I don't know. People just said, "Oh, you have a different look," like the whole vacuum thing, and
yeah.
Like, I don't look like a big just block, even though I'm one of the bigger guys up there. So do people say, "Oh, you have a different look"? That's what I wanted. I wanted to do something different. I wanted to present something that isn't the same as everyone else. And I think again that just kind of goes to show the way I train and the real way you should be training actually does work pretty well.
you kind of look good in from every single angle, in every single pose. Everything kind of flowed. You know, your V taper when you hit that front double bicep, everything just popped. Your legs were sharp. It was like there was no weak areas. Like you see some guys, like Cedric, it'd be watery around the midsection, but his glutes are hard, and it's like every single angle, top to toe. You know, you were very complete.
It's one thing I've noticed actually. You said about the whole like some people have water in certain areas and some people have. I get equally fat everywhere at the same time, and I get equal. I don't have like a stubborn spot. It all comes off the same. It all goes on the same. And when I dry out, I dry out evenly across the body. It's really weird. Wow. Okay. Like some people have like you said, like it's very common that some people just have their hams are soft, and at the night show they're dry. Or you said like Cedric has his smooth abs. I don't know why that is, but I'm pretty lucky that it doesn't happen to me.
Okay, Luke. So we can expect to see you at the Arnold Australia.
We can. Yep.
The Indie Pro.
Hopefully not.
Oh, really? You know, you're just saving it for the UK.
I mean, I'm just it's more like we'll see what happens in Australia because I do believe I have the potential to win. If I mean, there's a few tweaks that Chris and I want to make. I think I can. So I'm not going to say I will. I'm saying the potential's there. And after all this traveling, I might just think, you know what, I need a break. Yeah. I don't want to. I've committed to shows in the past and fallen apart.
Vancouver.
So Indy will be based on how Australia pans out in terms of the results and how I feel. So
is there a Luke Sandoe show, qualifier show or something in England also?
Oh yeah, there is. Yeah.
Don't forget to mention
he forgot his own show. Yeah, when is that?
So the two bros have they're putting on a few regional shows this year leading into their British finals. So they're trying to create that historical line again, like piece it back together. Mm-hmm. So we've got the regional shows, and they've decided to call on the Luke Sandoe Classic, which is in Crawley on the 4th of August, which is coincidentally the day after my birthday.
Oh, nice.
That's quite a nice little treat for me. Yeah, so yeah, that's very cool. So so if any of you guys want to do that qualifies you for the British finals.
What's the date?
Which is 4th of August. So
4th of August. So, are you still committed to the British Grand Prix in June the 30th?
Again, it depends on the Olympia qualification. Obviously, if I have qualified, as much as I would love to do that show, it would be silly of me to do that. So,
if you qualify at the Arnold Australia, win the Arnold Australia, I think it would be great for you just to do a guest posing.
I would definitely guest pose there. Yeah, 100%.
That's a good compromise.
Yeah, I'm going to be at that show regardless. And if I'm doing the Olympia by that point, then, which I certainly hope so, then I'll absolutely do a guest spot for sure.
Brilliant. Anything final you want to say, AJ?
Good luck in Australia.
Thank you so much.
Just like, can you imagine if you go in and beat Bonac, bro? Can you imagine?
Like,
that's another major scalp.
I would burst into tears on stage. Like Arnold would be like, "How did the field do a vacuum?" And I'd be sobbing into his breast, like just like crying. But yeah, and I mean, yeah, the main reason that I'm going to Australia is because Tony Doherty puts on such a good show. It's really, really fun. All the Australian guys are mental and they just love bodybuilding there. So it's just, regardless of what happens, it's a really fun show. So I can't wait.
Go cuddle some koalas.
Oh yeah, I might hopefully get some time to go to Melbourne Zoo because I think like the kangaroos and stuff are just like wandering around just in the open. So
yeah. Okay,
hopefully I don't get in a fight with one.
Boxing kangaroo. All right then, Luke. Well, I just want to wish you all the best, mate, for Arnold Australia. I'm so glad we got you back on to follow up because
my pleasure.
This is like AJ was saying in the intro. This has to be probably. It's such a great start. This is the first show of the season. It's such a great start to see someone like you moving up. Because
Sergio Oliva was right, huh?
Yeah, he's not crazy.
In 4 years' time?
Yeah.
3 years' time? Luke Sandoe, Mr. Olympia? Doesn't sound so weird now.
Yeah.
It sounds less ridiculous.
Yeah, I know.
All right then, Luke.
Thank you very much for having me on. I'll speak to you guys soon.
I'll leave you to your steak.
See you later.
Cheers, buddy. Bye-bye. Fantastic. Great to follow up. Great.
Great.
Get your shades on.
Get my shades on. Luke is, wow, huh?
He's great. Yeah.
Just amazing story.
Yeah, it's a feel-good story, kind of like when Roden won the Olympia or Kamal or whoever, these guys when they, like Ronnie when he went from 9th to 1st at Olympia. It seemed, because I think the reason like the classic class, the two are so popular is because I think sometimes the open class can get a bit stale, especially when guys are getting places, the bigger names are getting places they don't deserve. It kind of does get a bit people get a bit annoyed with that. So when you get someone like Luke, who's on like very few people's radar, and then jumps up to third in like one of the best Arnold Classics ever, that's very exciting.
Fantastic. It's just, and I'm also not surprised. The judges that they did it, they weren't afraid to give him the third.
Can I say something? You know, since the split,
Yeah.
this is maybe a complete coincidence, but the judging, I find myself disagreeing with the judging a lot less. So I don't know whether that's a coincidence. That is my observation, and a lot of other people have said that. The judging is... I don't know whether what's changed. Well, obviously things have changed. No, but they have. I'm telling you, like, you don't see those kinds of results where you think, hang on a minute, he's like 4th and he should have been 10th. You know, it's like, it just seems to be,
So
everything
after
seems to
a
be working.
yeah.
Things seem to be working out for the best, and I'm sure it works out for the best on both sides. But that is third place. I mean, beating Rolly Winklaar, Cedric Biecki, not Biecki. I'm obsessed with Biecki. Brie Baguette.
Kuklo, who's
Kuklo,
yeah.
You know, this, I mean...
Josh, who was...
Favorite, you know, and it's funny because, like I said in the intro as well, it's like, you know, I said when I interviewed him, he's his top 6, and I was just like, you can see me going, okay, well, good luck with that.
What's his name? Is Ben last name? So for people,
Ben Chow.
Ben Chow,
big strong dude, and Redcon have now took him on as Luke's +1.
So Redcon has George,
yeah,
Luke,
yeah.
Who else do they have? Donna,
yeah.
They got a lot.
Donna Murphy, sorry. The
who
women's
else?
physique pro.
Redcon. Don't they have more than that?
Oh, they got tons.
They got the announcers.
Oh, Antoine Valant.
They got the announcers on the commentating with Nick and Aaron doing the commentary.
Yeah. That's correct. Yeah. Correct. So Redcon supporting the athletes.
They're supporting MD also with
supporting MD
I
would say the main advertisers and the supporters of MD are now High-Tech Pharmaceuticals and Redcon. So big thank you to those guys for keeping the sport and keeping the media really well supported and the athletes well supported. Because without this kind of support that athletes get, I mean, Luke told me privately what, you know, the kind of bonuses and the increases in salary and all those kind of things they get from placing top 6. You know, it's like he said,
extra money.
It's extra, yeah. And a lot of these supplement companies, written into contracts, they will match your prize money.
Wow.
So
Luke is finally.
I don't know whether I don't.
Well, not finally, but making good money now.
I don't. Yeah. Well, he woke up with a $50,000 prize. His salary is increased by placing just top 6, and he's going to be. You know, he's got some other paying sponsors. He's got his brutalmuscle.com online website, which is a subscription that seems to be growing really fast, and he's doing a great job with that content from all over the world.
So it's possible to make good money as long as you market yourself and deliver the results.
Look how easy Luke is to work with. He's been reliable every step of the way. He's been doing his podcast, The Size Game, with Banji Damage and James Hollinshead for three years. I mean, I've been on there several times. And so he's well-versed, he's a good talker, he's honest, he's open, he's very... I mean, I said to Luke, this is what I said to him. I should say this. I said, you know what, Luke? I said, aside from your fantastic physique, I said, you know the reason why you're going to do really well? And he said, why? I said, because you're not a bell end. Chris likes that. And he said, well, I think people like me because I'm a bell end.
For people are not born in Liverpool, what does a bell end mean?
Born in Liverpool. Well, I won't go into detail, but you can Google it. Okay. But it's a slang phrase used in UK for someone that, But the gist was, I said, basically, you're not an idiot. And I said, and you're very, he's very. There's no ego. And he's very eager to work with all the media outlets, and he's making most important thing is he's making a very, very good impression on the sport in all ways.
So good. It's just...
Right. What a start to the year, though.
What a start.
British bodybuilding. I mean, just the fact that these guys can go into these shows and nail it, and they get a proper look. They're not getting 8th or 9th when they deserve to be called out with the top guys. You know, it's with Bonac and Brandon. I mean... so yeah, I'm absolutely thrilled for him, and I really appreciate him coming on.
So before we end it, where do you have Luke placing this Arnold Australia? Give me your prediction.
I don't think Rowley's going to be able to pull it in. I think he'll beat Rowley again. I think Josh. It depends on whether Josh tightens up. I think he'll beat Josh again. I think it's between him and Bonac. Cedric's going to be there as well. He's already took out Cedric. It's just whether he can hold that condition, maybe even improve on it. But he's, Yeah, I've got faith in him. I think he'll be. I think he'll be one of the last men standing. I'd love to. I mean, he could beat Bonac. I mean, I don't know. Bonac always tends to.
Can he beat Bonac?
Bonac fades after the main shows. If Luke can hold what he brought to the Arnold or even improve upon it, then I don't see any reason why he can't win the Arnold Australia. You heard it here first.
It's going to be a great show.
Yep. Okay, we better wrap this up.
Yeah,
well,
it's a long episode 11.
Yeah, thanks for bearing with us, and I hope you enjoyed all our, our little revisits with Brandon Curry and Luke Sandoe, and obviously our main guest, George the Bull Peterson, the new classic Arnold Classic champion. And I hope you enjoyed this long episode. And yes, big thank you there to Chris Clark from Pump Media. Big thank you to our sponsors, High Tech Pharmaceuticals, and of course, AJ, my buddy, my partner in crime. Give me a fist bump, mate.
Yeah.
Oosh.
Good episode.
Yeah. Okay.
Great guests.
Fantastic guests. Another great episode. And make sure you check us out on the Instagram. Global Muscle Radio. Check it. Send us messages, whatever. Want to interact. And yes.
Thanks to High Tech.
Thank you. I've just said High Tech.
Oh, we just did it.
You're zoning out. You need food. Right.
You forgot one thing. We forgot to talk about the bikini, didn't we? Just wrap it up.
Okay, then with AJ here at the Pump Media Studios, I'm Giles Thomas for Global Muscle Radio, and we will see you next week for episode 12. And we are out.